Hello and welcome to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball and football betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no messing around today. Absolutely none. We have so much to get into. I'm going to go over every NFL Week 2 game on Sunday, give you my lean, but I have plenty of picks. Actually, I have 5 of them, including my Sunday night pick, and I also got 4 props on Prize Picks. We're doing 2 different entries. How about it? Let's hear some W's in the chat. Let's get some energy in here. Thrasher, man, you got to lock in. Javon, I couldn't agree with you more. And on the back half of the show, 9 different cappers. Krabs is back for NFL. Javon's here for MLB. Gino, Callie Wager, Colby, Anthony DeMundo from the Action Network. Bunch of others. I forget because there's so many of them. I'm very excited. We're off to a 10-4 start to the NFL season. How about it? W. Pete, you're a baddie. Let's settle down a little bit. Let's not focus on my appearance, even though I do appreciate it. I do. I'm not going to lie to you. Helps my confidence a little bit. But helps our confidence a little bit more? Winning bets. How about it? How about those Vikings? Backdoor cover. Don't let that backdoor stay open. Producer Cohen, let's do a quick recap. But also brought to you by Pikkit. Brought to you by the Pikkit Sports App. Minnesota +7. We needed all the points that we could get. I'll be perfectly honest with you. We needed all the damn points we could get. Man, that was shitty by the Vikings. 3 turnovers in the first half. Couldn't have gotten any worse. I may have faded, but at least the Eagles -6 push. Hey, all I'm here to do is to give you as much information as humanly possible. That's my goal. Right? Tail, fade, do whatever the hell you want, but sit back and enjoy as all of us try and give you the most information as humanly possible. Let's talk Vikings. Eagles, Vikings, Jalen Hurts. Down the field to Devonta Smith. Not good early. But of course, Eagles continue to struggle in the red zone. This was a good start for the Vikings. Look at him run. We got good field position. Nope. Typical Vikings. Eagles with the ball, 3rd and 16. Jalen Hurts steps back, interception. He did not play all that well. Besides a couple of deep balls to Devonta Smith, which were just wide open gimmies, I was disappointed in Jalen Hurts' play. And I'm continually disappointed in this Eagles team, right? TJ Hawkinson gets in the end zone. All first touchdown scores with TJ Hawkinson rejoicing. But Kirk played very, very well again. But of course, this was a freaking disaster. Should have been 14-10 at half. Instead, we got Justin Jefferson with arguably the worst rule in the NFL for a touchback because he reached into the end zone. Man, he's on the 1-yard line. He'd be still at the 1-yard line. And of course, Jake Elliott. But shout out Jake Elliott. He is my fantasy football kicker. And then I say, well, at least let's have the Vikings come out early and not look horrible. Wait, instant fumble. Then this. Right, good throw, Devonta Smith. Good for you. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't even running that fast. He was just gliding. Kirk Cousins steps up in the pocket. Kirk. Jordan Addison bettors are certainly happy. But Kirk just keeps us in the ball game, and Justin Jefferson definitely bounced back here. He kind of put the team on his back. It was those two because they could not run the ball with Alexander Mattison, arguably the worst running back I've ever seen in my life, and the most open touchdown I've ever seen. Not good. DeAndre Swift, not good. I mean, he just ate this Vikings run defense alive. Ate him alive. Then we got TJ Hawkinson again in the end zone. And we come away with the back door cover. How about it? God, we needed that. Moves our record to 10-4. But now that we've recapped and producer Cohen has dropped that pick and link in chat, download it, people. I mean, what are we doing here? Download it. Madison underrated? No. Have you seen him run? Have you seen him try and run? And don't blame it on the Vikings because he wasn't running against the Bucs either. 2 good defenses, sure. But good running backs at least look competent against good defenses. Alexander Mattison has not looked the part. Yes, I'll have more plays posted soon. Larry Beeman, common W. Larry Beeman, you did tell me more sub banks. You did tell me that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get into a pick on every game, or at least a lean. We're going to start Oh, Larry Beeman already gave out a sub bang. What a baby. Where was that? Am I missing it? I think I missed it. I did, Peter, but who am I banging? Pause. True. Oh, Larry Beeman. You're getting one out here soon. I got you right now. Atta baby. Atta baby. Shout out Larry Beeman. Let's hear some noise in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And let's start with our first pick. Producer Cone, we're looking at the Green Bay Packers versus the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm rolling with Atlanta on the money line. Just in terms of line movement, right? Producer Cone can click on that little line movement tab. The Packers opened as 1-point favorites. It has been moved down to the Falcons, which now sit at -1 or -1.5, depending on the spot. I grabbed the Falcons money line at -118 last night. Now, I'm not going to lay the juice on this one because I do think, right, this is not really a value play. This is just a spot I really like. I think that the Packers beating the Bears made this line a little bit inflated. I think these teams, truthfully, are about even on a neutral. Giving the Falcons a couple of points at home, I would make the Falcons -2 in this matchup. So when I was looking at -1 and I was looking at the money line and all they had to do was win at home, I took it, right? Jordan Love, that rushing attack with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, they had a pretty cushy matchup against the Chicago Bears, who they always dominate, right? I'm not going to overreact in week 1 to a team who beat up on a division rival that they always own, right? I should have been on the Packers. That's my bad. I believe in the Bears. And that's why I didn't bet on this game, because I knew the Packers were the right side. And they absolutely dominated them. But that score, not exactly the score that we should be looking at, right? 38-20, a little bit inflated there. We saw what happened in the second half. The Bears looked like they gave up completely, didn't make any adjustments in the second half. I don't think the Packers are going to have that good of a time against this Falcons defense, who I do think is one of the better defenses in the NFL. And the Packers, their one weakness, stopping the run. They're going to get a heavy dosage of Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. At home, Falcons soak up the clock, and I think they win this game. I think the Falcons have the better defense. I think both rushing attacks are great, and both teams are going to be relying on the run, but it's also going to be hard for Jordan Love to even pass on this defense. It's a great defense. I have the better head coach. I don't have the better quarterback, but I have better skill positions pretty much all the way around. Basically a pick 'em. I'm taking the Falcons on the money line. There's no real, right? There's no real trends here. I just think the Falcons, if you put them at home, they're the better team. Give me the Falcons on the money line. Buffalo Bills versus the Las Vegas Raiders. So I don't have a plan here. I would lean towards the Bills at -8.5. The reason I'm not betting on the Bills, it's a lot of points. And this line, right, weirdly enough, if it went from 8.5 to 9.5, it has stayed pretty stand pat. And right, we're seeing 59% on covers. It's not a good split. And what I mean by that is it's not taking everything into account. Everybody on planet Earth is going to be taking the Bills to bounce back. Not saying that they won't cover and win. Not saying that at all. We know how good Josh Allen is in bounce back spots. We know how good Josh Allen is against a pitiful defense like the Raiders have, especially because the Raiders won in their week 1 matchup against the Buccaneers. It's also a fairly low total for a big favorite like this. Now, I think, put a gun in my head, the Bills cover this number. I don't love it, though. Weirdly enough, the Bills are -10. I'd like it even more, if that makes sense, right? I think the line is where it should be. I don't really see much value on either side. I'm staying off this game. Ravens versus Bengals. Give me the Bengals -3. They're going to win by a field goal or more. So there's a lot of talk about Lamar Jackson and how good he is as an underdog. John Harbaugh, how good he is as an underdog, right? If you just want to follow those trends, 18-8 for John Harbaugh. I'm fairly positive Lamar Jackson is 8-3 against the spread as an underdog. Good for him. Lamar Jackson came out with a quote, "I love being the underdog. I don't want all the attention. I want to go into a game with something to prove." Great. and that normally works for him. Do I think it's going to work against a Joe Burrow team who just got absolutely embarrassed against the Cleveland Browns? A team, reminder, that they primarily always struggle against, right? We were on the Browns in week 1. They won outright 24-3. Now we're jumping back to the other side. And one of the best trends that we have in week 2, because last year we had a great week 2. This trend, teams in their last 30 games, it's a very simple system. You have an underdog, you have a team who just faced a division foe and lost. And in their second game, they are facing another division foe. Those teams are 25-5 against the number in the last 30 games. It's over 80%, right? That comes from Ralph Michaels on Wager Talk. I highly recommend looking up his Twitter. Gives out great trends. It's a lot of where I get my trends from. Ralph Michaels, 25-5. Now, the Ravens have done pretty well against Cincinnati historically. But since Joe Burrow was drafted, number 1 overall in 2020, so since 2021, Joe Burrow doesn't lose at home against the Ravens. Now, on the road, it's a little bit of a different story, right? You get these two teams, more often than not, they split the division games. One team wins at home, then they face what, right? The Ravens will face the Bengals at home in whatever week it is. They might win that game, not in this game. Give me the Bengals. Also, Ravens secondary completely dismantled with injury. The Ravens will also most likely be without 2 offensive linemen. Good luck against Hendrickson, all right? I think this is a big bounce back game for Burrow. I'm swallowing the 3. I don't care about the money line, right? But 3 is very important. I think they win by more than 3, but a field goal, that's the number I want. I think this should be at 4. So anything up really to 4 is playable for me. But I think that, truthfully, right, I make the line 4, but I think they win by a touchdown or more. Okay? Give me Joe Burrow on a bounce back spot at home in their home opener. It's going to be a great game. Give me the Bengals minus the 3. Seahawks versus Lions. We got another pick here. Give me the Seahawks plus 4.5. Now, there's a lot of 5s in the market. I bet this last night, right? Normally, we like our lines to move, but we didn't get it, right? Sitting at 5 now. And 5, I'm fine with it. Kind of a dead number, right? So give me the Seahawks plus 4.5. So if we look at week 1 versus week 2, it's classic overreaction theater, right? Classic overreaction theater. Javi, you good over there? All right. Classic overreaction theater. The Lions beat the Chiefs. The Seahawks lose and get crushed by the Los Angeles Rams. Again, a team that primarily owns them, right? We had the Rams plus 5. And now I'm going to the other side. Okay? I think that this line is wildly inflated. This is more of a value play for me. I think this line should be no higher than 3. Absolutely no higher than 3. The Seahawks and the Lions, they played each other last year. Super high scoring game, 48-45 last season. I think we're going to see a similar type game here, even though the total has gone from 51 to 47.5. I actually definitely lean towards the over in this game. But I think Seattle is going to have success through the air against the Lions. And the Lions, while they beat the Chiefs in the first game of the year, everybody saw it. I didn't think they played all that well, right? I don't give them a lot of credit for beating a Chiefs team that was out without Travis Kelce and without Chris Jones. I don't give them a lot of credit for that, truthfully. I know it was an Arrowhead. It was a good win. But they really only scored 14 points, right? Because if you take away the pick 6 after the ball hit Kadarius Toney basically in the face, their offense did not look good with a ton of time to prepare against a Chris Jones-less Chiefs defense. They didn't look good at all. Now, the Seahawks did not look good against the Rams. But again, they historically own them. Sean McVay versus Pete Carroll, you can find all the trends. That's why we're on the Rams plus 5. Now I'm flip-flopping. Give me the Seahawks plus the 4.5. Truthfully, I would bet this down to 3.5. I think it's going to close by game time closer to that number, right? The public's going to love the Lions. We already see the splits. They're going to love the Lions here. I'm taking the Seahawks plus the 5. Now, the Colts and the Texans. This is another really interesting game. I lean the Texans. Trends are going to tell you to take the Colts. So, the Colts fit that same system. The Colts fit the same system as the Bengals do. 25-5. What did the Colts do in their last game? They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now they face another team in their division in the Houston Texans. And we just got word, C.J. Stroud might have a shoulder issue, and now he's currently listed as questionable, which is tough because we're going to get to the prop segment, and I already took C.J. Stroud over 216 passing yards. Now, if he doesn't play, it'll DNP, and we'll be fine. I still lean the Texans, though. Anthony Richardson, in his first game, didn't like what I saw. I thought he was great on the ground, but I am still very suspect about this Jaguars defense. And what we saw is that really he could only throw to one side of the field. That's really all that we saw. You could throw to one side of the field. New defensive coordinator in D'Amico Ryans with 2 cornerbacks that graded out as the 1st and 4th graded cornerbacks by PFF in week 1. They're going to have a tough time moving the ball. I lean towards the Texans. Trends tell you to take the Colts. So from a football perspective, I like the Texans. From a trends perspective, you should take the Colts. Kind of up to you. Okay? Thoughts on Titans, Eckler? We're going to talk about it. We're just going game by game. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is an absolute no bet for me. If it was Kansas City Chiefs minus 2.5 early on in the week, maybe I'd consider it. Now, there's no value here. One of the most public teams of the weekend is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs minus the points. Remember in the playoffs last year, Kansas City dominated them. Not dominated them, but beat them pretty handily. Jaguars, they remember that. If this moves up to 4.5, which I expected to be by kickoff, because, of course, we have learned that Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are going to be back, which is huge for them, clearly, right? The Chiefs' 3 best players by a mile are Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't mind going Jaguars, but this would be a wait-and-see game. Don't bet anything now. The Chiefs are only going to get more expensive on the spread. Only going to get more expensive. I expect it, like I said, to close at 4.5. Then that's where I could understand if you want to go the Jags. Because what do we know about the Chiefs? They win a lot of games, but they don't cover big spreads, right? Primarily, you want to fade Patrick Mahomes as a favorite of 4 or more. Really of 3.5 or more. He doesn't have a good record against the spread. But the thing is, I don't truly believe in the Jaguars. I don't. I don't think they have a great defense. I still think there's a lot of kinks to work out in this offense. I don't give them a lot of credit for dismantling a Colts defense that I think is terrible, right? I think the Colts have one good defensive player in DeForest Buckner. My lean would be the Jaguars, but it would be to wait. You got to wait on this game because right now the price, you want to bet it now, I get it. I think you're going to get a much better price by kickoff. Bears, Buccaneers. Give me the Bears plus the 3. Now, it's mostly 2.5 in the market. As you can see, I have minus 120. Classic overreaction theater, right? Buccaneers win against the Vikings, right? We took the Vikings. Week 2, and this is why we did so well last year, week 2. You got to take spots when a team gets humiliated by a division rival that already owns them against a team who won, right? Or won as a dog, which the Buccaneers did. They impressed a lot of people, right? They beat the Minnesota Vikings. But like I said, why did we tail the Vikings? Because we thought turnover regresses to the mean. And it still didn't for the Vikings, and they still covered. That's the NFL for you. This line, right? Think about what the odds makers did in week 1. The odds makers made the Bears minus 1.5 to the Green Bay Packers. And now they're making them plus 3, plus 2.5 to the Buccaneers. Complete overreaction. You'll see it through media all this weekend. The Bears are the worst. The Bears are the worst. And after watching week 1 game, it's hard to say that you don't agree with that statement. But at the same time, The Buccaneers, look at what the Eagles just did to the Vikings defense. The Buccaneers, honestly, only scoring 17 points, kind of laughable when we look at week 2. I think the Bears outscore this Buccaneers team. I think they win the game outright. So if you want to go with the money line, totally fine. But this number at 3, must bet for me. Now, I'm not laying the juice because there is a real opportunity here that the Bears are as bad as advertised, right? There's some bets you see me laying the juice. There's some bets you don't. And it's very minimal, right? I mean, depending on your unit size, it may not be minimal, right? For me, it's not minimal. But for you, depending on what your unit size is, if it's minimal for you, I don't mind laying the juice here. I think the Bears win this game, but I'm very safe with the +3, right? I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to have as much success as Jordan Love did. How did the Packers dominate the Bears? On the ground, right? You see Rachaad White, we took his under 699.5. He was terrible. Not efficient at all. The Buccaneers will not be able to run the football like the Packers did to open up the pass game for Jordan Love. It's going to be a lot of Baker. I think we're going to see some interceptions, and I think the Bears win this game outright. Let's talk Chargers versus Titans. So, this is a very tough one. Football brain tells me to take the Chargers. The Titans did not look good in week 1 against the Saints at all. Derek Carr, in his first game with a new offense under Dennis Allen, who I do not really respect as a head coach, did not look good. But what were they able to do? How did they put the game out of reach? Through the air. Can the Titans keep up with a Justin Herbert-led offense through the air? And you'd say, well, Austin Eckler's injured. They're going to be fine. The way to beat the Titans is not on the ground anyway. And Joshua Kelly is a fine backup running back. He's a very popular streamer in fantasy football for a reason. Whenever Eckler is out, Joshua Kelly does his job. Not worried about that. Generally not worried about running back injuries anyway. But that one especially, I think Joshua Kelly is one of the better backup running backs in the NFL. I'm very worried about this piss-poor Titans pass defense. And not to mention, Derrick Henry again looked inefficient. The Titans offensive line is one of the worst units in the NFL. The Chargers, give them credit, not a great defense, good pass rush. They're going to get to Tannehill. Now, we've heard all the stories over this past week about how Tannehill got with the coaches early on and said, I will not throw these interceptions. I need to see you do it. But on the flip side, Mike Vrabel, as a dog of 3 or more, is a cash cow. 23-9 against the spread, moves to 20-20 straight up. Now you say, well, 20-20 straight up, that's 50%. Remember, he's a dog, right? So your ROI is bigger at 20-20. So for me, this is a no bet. I want to bet the Titans. I do. I love tailing Vrabel as a dog. The head coaching mismatch is insane here. Brandon Staley versus Mike Vrabel, please. And I want to fade Justin Herbert on the road getting points. That's primarily where you want to fade the Chargers, when they're road favorites, or generally favorites at all, right? When they're dogs, you can entice me there. Favorites, not so much. Justin Herbert has a negative record as a favorite. And Mike Vrabel has a great record as a dog. But from a football perspective, if this gets in a shootout, the Titans simply cannot keep up. It's a no bet for me. Giants, Cardinals. Everybody on earth is going to have the Giants -5.5, -4. But I find it interesting that the line is sticking. Now, you will not see my money on the Cardinals. I bet on bad football teams, right? I just bet on the Bears. You will not see me on the Cardinals. But you sure as hell will not see me on the Giants. I get the spot. They just got embarrassed on Sunday Night Football. I was the moron with the Giants +3.5 ticket sitting in my pocket. No, sir. No, sir. I will not want no part of this game. Slight lean towards the over at 40. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why would you bet the over in this game? Well, I'm still not very impressed with this Giants defense. They weren't a very good defense last year, and they didn't show me anything against the Cowboys, right? I like a couple of their pass rushers. I think Dexter Lawrence is phenomenal. But I think their cornerbacks are weak. Again, they're going against Josh Dobbs. But I think the Cardinals will be able to move the ball slightly. Slightly, right? I'm thinking they put up anywhere from 14 to 21 points. Not a ton. I do think the Giants are going to be able to score on this Cardinals defense, though, right? I think the final score is 24-21 Giants. So that would have me leaning at over 40. But at the same time, I work hard for my money. Do I want it on Giants Cardinals? No, I do not. Nolan Carver 1005 just subbed. Also, can we take a break for a second? Are we enjoying this? I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. Week 2 NFL, come on. I'm having a blast. And I'm thirsty. I don't even know where my water is. It's all right. Javi's got water over there. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I'm fired up. Pete, shotgun a beer? I don't have a beer. If I would, I'd pour it all over my face. Baker Mayfield interception is one of my favorite plays of the weekend. I'm fired up here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this breakdown. We're going to do this every Friday. Get you ready for Sunday football. Go shotgun a whole vitamin water, then freak. I don't have any liquids near me right now. Bruce going. Gino in 9 minutes. Good. We have 4 games left because I'm going to break down Monday Night Football on Monday's stream. All right. Bring me over to the Rams 49ers. I'm a Rams fan. We get owned by Shanahan. Owned. Shanahan is our daddy. Sean McVay is Pete Carroll's daddy. I was all over the Rams +5. I'm so upset I didn't make it a 2-unit play. But we're whatever. We'll take our winnings. I'm scared. You got a divisional dog at home. I love this spot. Love it. Too bad. 49ers motherfuck my Rams. Every single time. Our only win is in the playoffs. And that was when we won the Super Bowl. And I say we because I'm a fan. I was a part of the team. I have a Baker Mayfield jersey. I can say we. If I'm a fan enough to buy a Baker Mayfield jersey, I can say we. I can. I don't want to hear shit about it. We. When I talk about my Rams, I'm talking about we. We get owned by the 49ers. Now, you see the total? Open at 42 up to 45. There's a big week 2 trend. You want to take divisional games, the under, right? No, sir. I think the 49ers put up 30. I think they're going to destroy us. I do think Stafford can keep up. Problem is, probably no Puka Nacua. Damn it. He's literally the best wide receiver in the NFL. Not actually, but we saw what he did in week 1. It's going to be a cast of Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, and Tutu Atwell. Shit. We may be screwed. I don't mind laying the points on the 49ers, and it goes against every bone in my body. Divisional dog at home. This is not a division game that we win. It just isn't. We will get swept this year by the 49ers. That's just how it is. Now, if we win, fuck yeah. We won't, though. I lean the 49ers -7, -7.5. Don't really care, honestly. Now, I'm not betting it. It's just a lean. But what I do know, and I've seen my entire life being a Rams fan in Los Angeles, in this division, we are owned by the San Francisco 49ers. Just remember that. When you go to bet the Rams, and I get the spot. I totally get it. And if someone played it and the 49ers win by 6, I get it. You hit your bet. No shot I'm going to be on the Rams this week. Lean towards the over at 45. That would be my best bet in this game. Or take the 49ers minus whatever. Or tease them. Great teaser spot, right? Y'all ever heard of the Wong teaser? You're all a smart group, right? You wouldn't be in here if you weren't. I have the smartest chat in the universe. It's just a fact. People know it. People know it. Y'all know about the Wong teasers. And if you don't, maybe the 1 or 2 people coming in new, a Wong teaser is teasing through key numbers, right? You get a 2.5 dog, tease them up through those key numbers of 3 and 7. You get a favorite around 8, 7.5, tease them down to under a field goal. 49ers are a great teaser piece this week. Great teaser piece, right? And this next game, Cowboys-Jets. Don't mind teasing down the Cowboys at all. At all. We saw the Jets spend a lot of energy beating those Bills. Great emotional win. You lose Aaron Rodgers. You battle back. That team gave them everything they had. Now it's only week 2. So you could totally make the argument, yeah, they spent a lot of energy, but they're still very fresh. And I totally get that. That's why I have no play on this game. But truthfully, I would lean the Cowboys to beat the living piss out of them again. I think this Cowboys team, when I power rate teams, they're in my top 3. They really are. I think the Cowboys are one of the best teams in the NFL. Now, don't get me started about the playoffs. Let's see Dak do in the playoffs. Regular season Cowboys, I think they're going to have an incredible season. I think they prove it against this Jets defense. Lean towards the under, though. I don't think the Jets are going to score. I don't think the Jets are going to score. I think the Bills have a top 10 defense. I think the Cowboys have a top 3 defense. Good luck against that pass rush. Good luck against those linebackers. Good luck against that secondary. Stephon Gilmore played an incredible game. And it's not even mentioning Trayvon Diggs. Good luck, Zach Wilson. Lean in this game. Jets team total under or just the full game under. Because I do respect the hell out of the Jets defense. When I say the Cowboys might have a top 3 defense, Jets have a top 3 defense. They looked amazing. Quincy Williams, that linebacker crew. I said, what's the weakness of this Jets defense? They're linebackers. And they played phenomenally. Now, we still hit our props, but they were men on a mission. I have so much respect for that Jets defense. That game was unbelievable. That was one of the greatest Monday Night Football games I have ever seen. Honestly, was that not, for the chat, was that not the best Monday Night Football game you've seen in a while? Aaron Rodgers goes down on the 4th play. All right, let's keep it moving. Sunday at 4:25, Commanders Broncos. I got nothing. Nothing. Not even a game I want to look into. I think the Commanders stink, and I think the Broncos stink. Nothing. You can make a play if you want. I'd rather just save time and move on. Dolphins Pats. Give me the under 46.5. Oh, are you kidding me? Give me the under 46.5, producer Cohen. Under 46.5, are you kidding? Divisional game in primetime, Patriots, Dolphins, of course. Do you know how many numbskulls are going to be chasing after they lose their wallet in 1 o'clock games and 4 o'clock games? See Tua, see that 36-34 performance that just happened and blindly bet the over? And I love that it's a 46.5. Why wouldn't they give us the 47? Why has this line been sticking firm when everybody's on the Dolphins and everybody's on the Patriots? And I may end up adding the Patriots. My problem is, guess who owns the Pats? Tua Tagovailoa. Owns them. Owns them. I like the under 46.5 here. How do you beat the Dolphins? You run the football. What are the Pats going to do? Soak clock and run the football. And we got to give the Patriots defense credit. Look at what they did against Jalen Hurts, and then look what Jalen Hurts then ensued to do against the Vikings, right? Patriots are very good at stopping the pass. Bill Belichick off a loss, his defense is going to come out firing in a division game. Love this under 46.5. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay? Let's break into a couple of props. Couple of props before we get to Gino. Juwan Jennings over 14.5, right? I get a lot of my stats from Outlier, right? Highly recommend you guys downloading it. Okay? DM me if you want a link. Okay? DM me on Twitter at PeterApple23. I'll shoot you a link. Now, it's paid. If you don't want to pay for it, I get it. But it's freaking awesome, and I've been using it. That's why we've been so hot on props. I'm not going to lie to you. I get all my stats here. All right? So let's go to Jennings. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Just on my phone here. Ready to do. Receiving yards, Jennings. I can search my guy. So what it's giving us is plus EV at over 15.5. And the line here is 14.5 on Prize Picks, right? What do the Rams struggle with against the pass? 21st ranked. Jennings, in his last game, had 0, right? Only had 1 target. What I do know, there's a couple of wide receivers who own us. Jennings has played well against us, and Debo has played well against us. I'm a Rams fan. I'm taking a 49ers wide receiver. He's 15.5 on books. 15.5 is plus EV according to Outlier. Very similar to A.J. Brown under 5.5 receptions, which smacked yesterday. How about it? Give me Jennings. Now, C.J. Stroud over 216.5 passing yards. Same thing, plus EV against a bad Colts secondary. He already went over this in his first game. I think he played very well against this Ravens team with a better secondary than the Colts. It's too low of a line. Have not adjusted to CJ Stroud yet. But don't bet that yet. Don't bet it yet. Shoulder issue. Might not end up playing. We got another Prize Picks entry producer going right before we get to Gino. I know we're a little bit late. I'll run through these favorite tight ends. No doubt about it. Both plus EV plays on Outlier. Darren Waller against the Cardinals. Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals, who are one of the worst teams against the tight end. Absolutely. I think they're going to make much more of an effort to give it to their number one wide receiver, arguably a top 3 tight end in this league. And Evan Ingram going up against Kansas City. What is Kansas City's one weakness on defense? Well, they have a couple, but what's a big one? Well, they allowed the most yards in the entire NFL to tight ends. Evan Ingram is going to be a big point of attack for this Jaguars offense. Give me Evan Ingram. Give me Darren Waller. Evan Ingram, by the way, 40.5 yards on books. Darren Waller's 41.5. Favorite overs. I feel good. Waller's got a little bit of a hammy issue. Search up Darren Waller on Twitter. What did he say today? Why did I make this bet? What did he say today? And I quote, I'm playing. Don't worry. I saw the same report you did. Don't worry. Wouldn't just play that, and I just had no idea that he was dealing with a little bit of a hamstring thing. Look at the interview that he had today. They said, how's your hamstring doing? I'm playing. He's playing. Give me him. You don't want to take it, don't take it. All right? Don't take it. I'm playing it. No doubt about it. I'm telling you. Go on Twitter, search Darren Waller. You'll see it. Okay? Time for Gino.
What up, my dude?
Did you catch the tail end of that? I'm hot right now. I love going through the NFL Week 2.
I caught Juwan Jennings. I'm surprised you even know who that is. But again, it's you. You know everything.
I'm a Rams fan.
I'm just giving.
I've seen him.
I make weirdly bold statements about random teams and my Niners daily. Is Juwan Jennings the best WR3 in the league? I think he is.
He is one of them. I think he's fantastic. I wish the Rams had him.
It's crazy. So all they have to do is use him, and he's a great candidate for laddering too, because if he gets used, his ceiling is 50, 60, 70, like 4 catches.
Exactly, and his median is 2 catches a game. And
exactly.
This line should be 16.5. It should. It's just he had 0 in week 1.
And he usually finds, again, deep holes.
Yeah.
You got Debo and
I've seen it so many times against the Rams. I've seen him kill us.
He can get his 1 catch, 17, 20 yards, and you're set.
Yeah, and his median is 2 catches. So this line is just too low for me. But, Gino, we got to stop messing around here. You have, I think you have 8,000 plays that you submitted?
I
8,003?
So, yeah, this is a lot of stuff. So, I like St. Louis here. Dude, I missed last week. I'm sorry. My little girl got sick. And
you're okay, man. Hope she's okay.
Dude, thank you. I'm the Wainwright whisperer. He has won for me every time I've bet him. The last 3 times I've bet him. Not the last 3 times he's played, but he's been feeding me. I don't know how I do it. There's a lot of value on him, and I have also avoided some losses. So just throwing that out there because that was from a couple weeks ago when we chatted about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, St. Louis here. I have this as minus 102 as the true line if you're getting St. Louis first 5 money line. So that's severely off. I have had a lot of trouble with this St. Louis team getting good reads on them. I don't know if their data is off, if they're just streaky or what, but this one is only a half a unit just because I don't have a lot of trust for this St. Louis team. But I have the true line as minus 102. Anytime you see minus 102 to plus 20, you jump on it. You don't think twice, especially home. And I'm a little low on Philly in this spot and Nola in this spot.
Fair enough.
You're allowed to say you love it or hate it. Let's go.
No, I mean, I would not tail Wainwright, but you're winning on him. So what am I going to say?
Yeah. Anyway, Thompson today. I was going backward. Thompson's the pitcher today. I was more saying,
okay.
Because he laughed at me for backing him. This is actually the better play. You'll see it's a full unit. I cannot believe how cheap you're getting a half a run here home with Thompson versus Nola. This is super surprising to me. I was willing to bet this all the way up to 134. So 14 points of value. And I really, really like home dog plus half a run. So that's where this one comes from.
You're fading a pretty hot Philly team, though.
I am.
But then again, the Cardinals bats are pretty hot too. And that line is stuck with plenty of money on the Phillies.
You nailed it. I don't even need to explain myself anymore. You know how I think.
Of course I do. I've talked to you 8,000 times.
The only reason this one's not 2 units, guys, is I'm afraid of these Oakland bats. Some games they put up 5 or 6 runs, and some they put up 0. I hope tonight's the 0. Newcomb, Lugo, that Oakland, what do they got? Nothing to win for. They brought up, I forget the number of youth. I don't think they have the best farm system. They've traded a lot away. I know they're really good at historically building people, but I looked at these 2 lineups. I thought this should have been 8. So I'm getting a half a run at -110 for free. A half a run is worth way more than -10.
This one I'm very afraid of.
Tell me why. You're afraid of the A's pitching or the hitting on both teams?
Both of those things you just said. Newcomb against this Padres team where he can't find the zone against a very patient Padres lineup who already kills lefties. And then Lugo on the other side. You said it yourself with the A's bats who have been hot. And then you have to deal with both of these poverty ass bullpens.
No, I agree.
I lean towards the over in this game.
Yeah.
But then again, I had to stop giving MLB picks for the last couple of days because I couldn't hit water for fill off a boat. So who the hell cares what I'm saying right now?
No, but I do agree. Remember, I said this about a month ago. I told you I'd lighten up in September, and I just didn't listen to myself. I was overbetting systems that clearly got abused. I've dripped down from +9 units to +2 in the last 2 weeks. So is what it is. I really do like this play, though. I think it's going to be the historical A's that we expect that put up 1-2, and I don't see the Padres putting up 8.
That's more than fair. First of all, shout out Buddy BUDDWYR. Thank you for subbing. Great question from some slide. Hey, Pete, I was looking at outlier and Brandon Pfaadt is EV positive to go under 5.5 Ks. Would you take that?
Pfaadt.
No. And it's because I'm biased and I love Brandon Pfaadt no matter how many times he kills me. There's something in there. There is something in there with Brandon Pfaadt. But then again, I'm biased. The data is telling you it's plus EV. I wouldn't take it, but I understand why people would because I doubt he gets to 6 Ks. I just am the person who believes in him a lot.
And this didn't make my slate, but God, do I like Arizona here. I'm just not trying to put more chips on the table in a time like this. Playoff baseball's around the corner. I cannot wait to come on your show.
Instead, we're going for the fish.
Let's do it. So, yeah, dude, this team, the volume I see of people fading the Marlins, no one believes in them. And I'm telling you, Cueto at home +150. I get that this is Atlanta, but man, does this scream square on the other side. I know I am in bed with the books here. And just so you all know, this is traditional Gino. The only reason why it's not 2 units is I just haven't been hot in baseball. But it opened up at -200. 78% of the tickets on Atlanta. It's now -178. Not reverse line movement because there's more money on Miami with less tickets. It's just a classic Joes versus Sharps. And I just love this position. I wouldn't bet it, though, under 140. So get it in at 150.
Here's my problem.
Please.
Sharps have been against Bryce Elder all year long. All year. Because his expected numbers are garbage. The thing is with Bryce Elder, he's continually going to be one of those pitchers that the market doesn't respect because he's a ground ball guy who allows a lot of hard contact and doesn't strike anybody out. But the why he's effective is because it's a lot of ground balls. And against a Marlins team, now he could just hang balls and they can take it out of the ballpark. But against an undisciplined Marlins lineup, I think they're going to do him some favors today. What I think is going to happen in this game, I'm not taking the Braves. But what I think watching Bryce Elder against undisciplined teams plenty of times is that there's going to be runners on first and second and 1 out Gino, and he's going to get a double play. Next inning, a walk, a base hit, runners on first and third, ground ball double play. It's going to be one of those games where you're just like, come on. That's what Bryce Elder does. And then you got the Braves offense against Cueto. I get it. The value perspective, the reverse line movement's not a bad play. I've just seen this story happen before.
No, I get it. And there's a reason it's 1 unit, but I'm telling you, everyone is on Atlanta this Friday night, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Also, let's go through these a little more quickly because we got people waiting in queue and you have so many plays. Orioles.
Bang, bang, Orioles. Bang. These are my boys. Can you believe I'm getting the Flaherty What is it? Plus 110 at home?
I know it's a severe starting pitching mismatch, in my opinion. Eflin
I get
versus
it.
Verdi. But I get why you're on it.
Tampa Bay's been. I don't even know what this Tampa Bay is this last 30 days. I'm not as scared of them as I was in terms of like entering the playoffs. The wind is just not in their sails, and I think this is a time where Baltimore really does sack up and locks in with that 1 seed. Are they currently in need to hold the 1 seed?
Oh yeah, they're just a game up in the standings.
1 game. There you go. So
I've raised plus 350 to win the division though, so I kind of hope this bet loses, but I kind of hope you win, but I need the raise.
Yeah, you're giving me the 1 overall at home as a dog. I'll take it. That's my biggest play of the day.
Atlanta, Miami over 9.
You were kind of getting into this, and this is where you were saying. So I actually think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. There's more value to me on the over. I think the Miami Marlins are going to be able to put up runs. I love dogs in games that I have the over on because I do think it's like, okay, I don't know who's going to win 6-5, but one of them are. And at plus 150, I'll take it. So that's where this came from. I almost leaked that out, but I was waiting for you to get to this.
More than fair. Let's move to NFL, right?
Cool.
Or is that the end of baseball? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're on this Rams. I mean, you and I know our Rams and our 49ers, and this is, the trend. Divisional games, week 2, take the under. This might be one of those that bucks the trend.
Yeah, so I was humble brag, I was front row on the 50-yard line with me and 5 homies at Pittsburgh, and I'm telling you, this team is mean. The Niners are mean. And I will say our secondary is not as great as everyone thinks. They're not. A lot of holes. Pickett sailed a few balls that were first downs of double digits, 15, 20-yard passes. So we were able to stop the run on Pitt running a nickel. I believe I said that verbatim. If we can stop the run on the nickel, they're going to have a lot of problems. This Rams team looked good against Seattle. They found, I won't call it a cup replacement, but I was impressed. I forget how to pronounce his name.
Puka
Nacua. I was impressed. I actually like Puka Nacua on some of his overs. I think the whole world's fading him that he got lucky because no one knew his name. I actually think you should be picking up Puka Nacua in your fantasy leagues if he's laying around.
Everyone already did, except he's injured this week.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's nice. But long story short, I genuinely have the Niners here by more than 8. I know this is against home division dogs. That's a system. Division dog unders, another system. I'm fading the hell out of systems, and I'm going with power ranks and offensive versus defensive matchups.
And the fact that Shanahan is McVay's daddy.
Yeah, it's weird, guys. I don't know what it is. Shanny just owns McVay. It's insane. And he owns him offensively. And I like the Niners team total. I like the Niners -8, blah, 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 blah.
And we'll just throw your Niners pick in there so we don't have to go over it. We kind of just went over this game.
Yeah.
I know you got the Niners for a 2-unit play. Producer Cohen will put that up there. So you're on the Niners. You're on the over. Ton invested. Let's keep it moving. What else we got?
100%. Yeah, let's see what we got. Jets Dallas under. This one's a bit square. Might be my squarest play of the card. Everyone's all on it. The line's gone down a little bit. I think it opened up at 41. What I will say is what I saw, I think you're getting this under higher because of what Dallas did to the Giants. But I think that game just got away from the Giants and they spiraled out of control, and they're not the kind of team that can come back from being down. This Jets defense is damn good. Damn good. And this Jets defense is going to bring Dallas back to reality. This is going to be a nice, ugly game. I think it could be as little as 17-14. But I'm still happy at 2019. I'm still happy at 2017. And I don't think the Jets are going to be able to score on Dallas. The Buffalo defense, as much as it looked good at the game when, Zach come in and all that, they were letting them move the ball a little bit at the end when push came to shove, and they weren't controlling the lines. I can't believe this under. The only reason it's a half a unit is I can't figure it out. This should be more. If they dropped it to 38 instantly, I probably would have a unit and a half on it.
More than fair. Let's keep it moving. What else we got?
The Raiders. I lost money on this team last week. I liked Denver, so I'll humbly admit that. Jimmy just wins games. I think the whole world is expecting Buffalo to bounce back. I was thoroughly unimpressed with Buffalo the entire game.
Me too.
I'm telling you right now, this is one of those feeling bets versus just raw data. Allen looked shook when they were still up. His eyes looked like he'd never played in primetime or been in the playoffs.
I agree.
Terrified. I don't know what's going on with him.
And also in the preseason, they look bad. I have Bills to win this division. I am scared. This team I am nervous about.
and I'll listening into you a little bit, I'll tell you I'm fading. I'm on Miami winning up in New England, and that's another square play of mine.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take the Patriots. I'm on the under. I just lean towards the Patriots.
Got it.
I'm just going through a lean on every game.
Yeah. I think this is Miami's division to lose after what I saw. And again, guys, don't overreact week one. Don't overbet. It's only one unit. I just think the Raiders shouldn't be getting 9. They should be getting 6.5, 7.
More than fair. Let's keep it moving.
Denver over. Oh, man, this is an ugly one. Look at that, 1.5 units, too. This is probably the ultimate fade the public. You have 2 defenses with crappy offenses, and both offenses did shitty last week. What the hell am I doing? This is me in bed with the house as much as it, and they bait and switched it. They moved it up when they had more money on the over to get more people betting the under. They have done everything to get people on this under. I have no idea how this game is going to become 23-20, but it is, because this game should be 17-14. So
this game realistically should be 7-3.
7-3. Like pure
2-0, one safety.
It's disgusting, but it's 1.5 units because I have watched all of the books, we call it Steam, simultaneously bait people to this under, and I know this is going to be a very heavily teased under. This mother effer is going over 44.5. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to hit 47 somehow.
You could say motherfucker. Let's get to the next play.
Let's do it.
Titans. See, this one, I know this is the right side. I cannot press the Titans button. I just can't do it. I don't know how the Titans are going to stay with Herbert with that bad pass defense. I can't, it's going to hit. I can't bet it, though.
The New Orleans Saints are better on defense than people realize. The Titans offense looked better than people realize, and Tanny had a bad game. I think this is going to be a very hard combination, wide receiver, running back, for the Chargers to run with. I almost love the over in this one too, but I just think the Titans are going to put up points, and I'm getting a home dog +3 in a very good position to even out their record at 1-1.
More than fair. Let's keep it moving. Falcons. You and I
This
are
is my play of the week, guys. I want to be super honest here. I gave this out at +116 on Tuesday. I still like it -125. I have them as -3 as the true line. Yep. And I bet Green Bay last week, guys. So I'm not low on Green Bay. I said Green Bay was my dog of the week last week. Titans were my dog of the week this week. I also gave away the Titans as my pick of the week in Survivor if you didn't want to use a good team. This Falcons team has a lot of talent, and I like their 1-2 running back combo. And I know Green Bay had a good game. I get it. I just think people put Chicago in a category they should not have. It didn't make sense, guys. So if I'm being honest, people are a little too high on Green Bay, a little too early. I think this is a wake-up call for Green Bay, and Green Bay ends this week 1-1.
From Yankee Will, I don't want to pay -130. Can I bet Atlanta -1.5 for -110? I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I would too. I bet their money line because I just wanted them to win the game, and I saw -118. Now it's moved. I would just bet the -1.5. They could be bet up to 3.
Yeah, and
or up to 2.5.
I have -3 +100 as the true line break even. So if you have anything under -3 at -110, you're good. -2.5, -2, 1.5, etc. I prefer that.
How much we got left?
I think that was it.
That's it. Gino. We
Appreciate
just got to keep moving, but I appreciate you, my friend.
All day. Have a great day.
You too.
Later.
California Wager. What's up, Beast? Backwards hat for you and no beard. It's like a new guy comes on stream every time.
The Yankees hat, too.
We love it. We love it. Kylie, we don't want to waste anybody else's time. People need winners. And we got a 7-point teaser, but we're also going to talk some baseball. Let's start with the teaser first because you only have one play in the NFL. Then we'll move to multiple plays in the MLB. Let's start with the 7-point teaser.
Yeah, bouncing what you guys were just talking about with Gino. It's those exact 2 games you guys just mentioned, so can be quick with it. I love the Niners basically, getting down to money line. I think they cover the number, but, like we saw yesterday with Thursday Night Football, this takes the drama out. Just give me a straight victory on it. And basically getting the Bills down to 1.5 with you guys, I like it as well. I think that regardless of how ugly that was last week, that was just a strange game. Every part of that was just odd. I mean, 9/11. There were so many things with New York happening there. The injury on top of everything else. There was just a lot of oddness to that game. I think Buffalo bounces back. They're at home. The Raiders have been in West Virginia all week. We'll see how they do. I think the game can hang. I think it could be close, but I do like getting the Bills at such a short number.
And then the 49ers money line. You're a 49ers guy. I'm a Rams guy. So is Gino 49ers guy. All three of us know what the 49ers do to the Rams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we know what Shanahan does.
We're going to lose. If we win, I will be running around my apartment in shock, loving it. Unfortunately, you'll lose your bet, but I'll be the happiest man on earth. We are not. I will not be happy, though, come Sunday. Let's move to baseball. What do we got?
Yeah, we got 2 games for baseball today. Got 4 of them. I think we got 2 for the show. So I got Rangers money line today. I've said it before. I've done this with the Rangers. They're a team I do not get in the way of. When they get hot, they get hot. When they get cold, they get ice cold. 5 in a row right now, coming off that sweep of the Blue Jays. On top of that, their offense looked terrific. So I love them continuing that trend. Giolito has 7-13 this year. That kind of speaks for itself. And I like what the Rangers have done home and away. They're also dominating teams that are under 500. This is one of those teams.
John Gray versus Lucas Giolito. Do you need to say more? Rangers are hot. Let's ride them. Play number 2.
Exactly. Play number 2. I'm taking the over in the Phillies-Cardinals game. It's 8 or 8.5, depending on what your book was.
Before you continue, Z Brown Lee 118 just made a very good point. I have noticed this as well. Cali Wager backwards hat leaning into the camera. I don't know if you've ever lost.
Okay, I'll make sure I lean in.
Like this is what it looks like. You're like, I'm locked in capping right now. I'm locked in. And I like it.
Even though we're sitting out.
Sometimes, you got your shirt, you're kind of leaning back. You're like, yeah, I like this team. And then you're like, we're going with the Rangers here. And I'm like, it's hitting. So I'm going to sit down and shut the hell up. Phillies Cardinals over.
Yeah. Obviously I like what the Phillies offense has been doing. Nola on the road has been a bit of a different pitcher. We've seen how there's been those blow up innings. This is one of those chances again. It's not to say the Cardinals need to win or even remotely keep it close, but 8 or 8.5 to me does not seem very high with Zach, with Zach Thompson on the mound and a Nola that, 12-9 with a 4.64 isn't amazing. I mean, and he's been one that said it this year that he's been struggling at times. So, 6-6, a 5.66 ERA on the road. So, nothing to write home about.
Absolutely. And then you got that hot Phillies offense. It's in Citizens Bank?
It is.
Yep. Good work.
It's in Busch, excuse me. It's in St. Louis. So, we're still okay. We get Missouri.
I'm just curious. Do you know how the weather is there?
Right now, when I look at it, 79 clear. It looks like everything's okay.
Good weather. Because if this is at Citizens Bank, I bet this total is at 9.
Probably, yeah.
Nola in St. Louis. This is going to be a good game. I know Gino's is riding the Cardinals, actually. Do you have a
I think it'll be a good game regardless. I mean, I like what Philly's doing. We always know these two teams are a good battle.
I've only, from ASIM0414, I've only been betting MLB unders recently, and I'm anti-baseball. just betting unders out of spite. All of these guys suck. I'm betting the under.
I hate all of you. I hope you all strike out.
Before you go, because we still got a couple of minutes.
We got a free college play tonight.
Tell us.
Army.
We don't track college plays, but yeah, tell us.
We're on Army money line plus 275. This is a flyer. And it's not that I'm making a wild guess. I think that Army's defense has been terrific. They're going against a UTSA team that gets their quarterback injured last week. He comes back, plays in the second half, but this is a big question, and he's playing with turf toe. That you just never know what you're going to get. This is a quarterback who's one of the oldest guys in the league. He's 4 knee surgeries. Just a lot of heavy questions. Frank Harris is who I'm talking about. His name kept evading me for a minute, but he already decided that super senior came back. He had 4 knee surgeries. Talking about, and then he's got this ongoing turf toe that took him out of the game last week. He ended up coming back, but what kind of effect does that have on him long term? So I like Army. It's going to be, if the road to winning is going to be a low scoring game, 13-10, 17-13, something like that. if Army can't, keep them under 21 points, I don't foresee them having a chance. But at the odds that this thing is, and it's come way down. I think it was 10.5, 10. So it's come down a lot. But I still think that there's pretty good value tonight with Army.
Absolutely. Cali Wager. Backwards hat, Cali Wager leaning in the camera, I think is 85-0. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend and go Rams. 49ers probably going to win, but go Rams. We'll talk to you. All right. See you later. Anthony DeBundo from the Action Network makes his return. How are you? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I have not held up my end of the bargain on getting to 100 picks here. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
You hate baseball.
I'm out of the. I'm out of the
He's like,
anyway.
I like soccer. I'm betting NFL. I got all this work. Just excuses.
That's correct.
But
yeah.
I'm very happy to have you on. I love breaking down the game. And we got so many picks. So let's stop the chit chat. We'll talk later. Let's start with baseball. Chicago, Arizona under.
Yeah, so I think the market's really fallen in love with Justin Steele here. Finally, after all the money, I think a lot of us have made betting on him to beat those projections all year long. And I do think Chicago is actually a little bit overvalued today, but I like the under instead because I'm a Fott head. I'm a Brandon Fott believer.
Me too.
Yeah, and
he has been kicking me in the groin this entire season, just believing in him.
I still remember his debut in Texas. I bet him, and he got absolutely murked. And I was like, am I just wrong about this guy? But no. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm believing in the stuff. I'm believing in the improving location numbers. I'm believing in the Fott that we saw, post AAA break, where he's been, right around a 4.2 ERA pitcher, which is what I think he is at this point in his career. I don't think he's some budding ace that nobody, just discovered or hasn't found. But whenever we have a small sample on a pitcher and the sample says, well, he's giving up a shit ton of home runs, I'm going to be a little skeptical that that's going to continue until we get more data. I know he gave up a lot of homers in the minors, but a lot of that was playing in really difficult ballparks in the PCL. So I need more data on him. They did open for him on Sunday in this similar matchup here, but the whiffs were really good in that game for him. So I'm encouraged by that, by the whiffs he was able to get against this same lineup. And look, with the depth they've been getting from Steele, I'm less concerned about the Chicago bullpen here because he's been going 6-7 innings. So the fact that Azalai is on the injured list and they're kind of piecing together this bullpen for the stretch run, less concerned about it when Steele pitches compared to, say, the other guys, because you just have to project less bullpen usage because of Justin on the mound. So 8.5, 110, fine with me, up to 115, under 8.5.
Love it. Great pitch, per usual. Glad to have you back on. Let's talk Rays. Zach Eflin.
I was so intrigued about the Orioles trading for Flaherty, like the Orioles pitching lab, and they've done some really good work with some other guys this year.
In the bullpen, though.
Right, and it has not worked for Flaherty. I mean, that first couple of starts, everybody was like, whoa, he's throwing harder. Maybe that's something they fixed in his mechanics. Turns out he was just kind of amped to be on a new team and like joining the playoff race. 8 strikeouts his first 2 outings. Everybody's like, Jack Flaherty back. And it's been really back to old Jack Flaherty. And I don't know that there's that much that can be fixed here. The fastball's not very good when he's not throwing it over 94, 90, touching 95. And so he's just kind of like a middling fastball with like a decent slider and not very good command. He's not been throwing strikes all year. And when he has had to come in the zone, like I said, the fastball hasn't been good enough to get whiffs. Therefore, he's been getting crushed. And I'm just really down on him. I know the Rays have had a lot of bullpen usage. Stevenson's pitched the last 2 days, 4 out of 6 for Fairbanks. But this feels like a series where, you kind of go all in. You throw your chips all in. So I'd still expect to see Stevenson. He only pitched to one batter a couple days ago. So a little bit less concerned about that.
He's amazing.
He is amazing.
He's amazing.
That's a classic Ray find. Yeah. I'm actually going to Oriole Park tomorrow night, so I'm excited for that. Camden Yards. Zach Eflin, just career best strikeout walk rate. I mean, I don't know what else to say about him at this point, except that the market's consistently undervalued him most of the season. And I think they are once again here at 130. I think, price is closer to 140.
If you had to guess, who do you think wins this division?
The Rays. But I'm biased. I have a Rays ticket.
Me too. I'm biased too. I agree.
I think they're going to win 2 out of 3 this weekend.
I hope. If they can,
and we're going to be tied, but down in the tiebreaker, right? Then it's going to be really fun. But I just think they're the better team. They've been the better team all year. The Orioles have won a lot of close games.
Are they the better team?
Well, without Wander, maybe not.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
losing Wander.
Who now it's Sunday. Who it's this? I know tomorrow's Grayson and Glass now. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Littell. I feel like his
Is
turn.
this a 4 game? I thought it was a 3 game.
It's a 4-gamer, yeah.
It's probably going to be Littell, probably against.
It's Littell and Dean Kremer. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm feeling okay about that matchup too. I think that's I could see the Rays. It'd be a blind as a coin flip, but it'd be interesting. And then tomorrow's the big one with Glass now and Grayson.
Let's go Rays. Dodgers money line.
Yeah, look, I love George Kirby. I don't love what he said last week, but it is interesting when you look at the numbers. I mean, his OPS third time through the order allowed is 800 compared to 600 the first time roughly and 500 the second time through. So we'll see how Scott Service manages this. I think the Mariners do have some advantages over the Dodgers as the weekend progresses, as we get deeper into the bullpens, as the Mariners get to use their other starters who are also really good, and the Dodgers have to go to some suboptimal starting situations. But as far as tonight goes, I think it's a great spot for the Dodgers. Bullpen's rested behind Miller, and these two guys are both excellent at pounding the zone. There's just a little bit of a difference in that Miller is better at missing bats a little bit. His whiff rate is a little higher. His zone contact rate is a little lower. Stuff plus just a little better. So I do have a decent edge for him. And of course, the Dodgers have the better offense as well. So I'm just continue to buying on Bobby Miller as a developing and emerging ace at this rotation. And he's going to have to carry the load because I don't know what they're going to do in a 3-game series. Right now, it's like or 5-game series. It's, Bobby Miller game 1, and then Kershaw is throwing 88, and Lance Lynn is not that reliable. And, it starts to get really ugly. So the Dodgers are going to have a fun time with potentially the Brewers in the NLDS.
I'm smiling a little bit because I kind of know how you think. We've talked about so much baseball. I think you think Bobby Miller's better than George Kirby.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I cannot go there. I know the stuff is telling you that Bobby Miller's one of the best pitchers. I know.
Last 2 months, yeah.
He's not.
Kirby's great. I mean, look, I have a Kirby Cy Young ticket that's not going to quite get there, but I compared him to young Aaron Nola when he first came up, and I've been a believer in him, and he's got even better stuff than Nola, at least with the fastball. So I think it's a really impressive profile. But again, Miller has the better stuff.
You're a Bobby Miller guy. No, I respect it because I think if everything clicks for him, he is going to be a problem.
If they can get Buehler back. Look, next year's rotation looks pretty good. They're still the Dodgers.
Yeah,
but they kind of hit a wall.
Sheehan will improve. Like they'll be fine. They're going to sign something.
Man's rough with Sheehan, but yeah, Pepio is going to start a playoff game. Ryan Pepio.
I love Pepio.
Has he had like one good month? I don't know, man.
I'm a Pepio guy.
I feel like the Dodgers Dave Roberts is going to be asked to like Gabe Kapler the playoffs, and it's probably not going to go well. And then they're going to all blame him when in reality, it's just like, what was he supposed to do?
Yeah. Rockies. Give me the big dog.
Yeah, I needed one big dog. Big slate this evening. Not a particularly dog heavy slate for me. I usually like to bet underdogs, but the one thing that I will go to, the Giants remain a very average defensive team, and they're improved from last year, but they're not quite as good. They're not quite as bad where last year they were like, holy shit level bad. So they have improved a little bit. But there's a reason that Logan Webb's, pitching style, where he pitches to contact pretty much more than every ace in baseball, is a little bit more vulnerable when he goes to Coors than the average ace because he's not going to miss bats like he normally does. And as a result of that, his career ERA at Coors is more than a full run and a half higher than his career ERA overall. And I know the sample is small, and I don't really ever look at this. I quite literally was like, am I really doing this? Looking through like how does certain contact pitchers, how did their game translate up to Coors? And it's not pretty for him. So given that this Giants lineup has been so up and down, and there are still a bunch of holes in it. I know Yaz is back now, but and I know how bad Chase Anderson is. But given the situation, I think the Giants are a little overpriced because of this must-win tax. So, yeah, plus 175 is my buy price on the Rockies. So, ugly Rockies.
I'm just curious. Do you run a model?
I've developed one that I don't have enough faith in to just blindly tail it. So I'm kind of working on that.
Fair enough. No, I was just curious because I don't
know that
about buy price.
It's kind of like a baseline for me. Like I can get a pitcher projected number and then kind of run from there with lineups. And so I'm working on it. Totals especially are hard with weather and trying to figure that out.
Fair enough. I think that's the end of baseball. Let's talk football. So Gino was on this over You're rocking with the under in Washington and Denver.
Yeah, market's been all over the place here. Got as low as 38, got as high as 39.5. I think there's still a 39.5 out there. I just really don't believe that Denver's offense has any explosiveness. Do you know who the leading receiver was for the Broncos on Sunday?
Me. No, they asked me to play wide receiver. It was actually me. I caught a couple passes.
It was Samaje Perine. You know who number 2 was? I didn't even know he was on the Broncos.
Who?
Adam Trotman.
You just made up that name.
Yeah, right. He was a Saint a couple of years ago. Now he's a Bronco, apparently, number 2 receiver. But yeah, I mean, there's no explosiveness, and I think that Russ can't be worse than he was last year. But I think Russ's problems.
Don't test him. Don't test
right?
him. He could be worse.
I think Russ's problems are more down to his limited athleticism now at his advanced age, and that making him what he was laterally so good is not just doesn't have it anymore. So I don't think you can really fix Russ. He was 17 of 24 or whatever on Sunday, but there was no explosiveness. There was no deep ball. There was no chunk plays. It was all grind. Washington
terrible.
Chase Young back, and Washington, Sam Howell is not an NFL starting quarterback. I know everybody's kind of hype about him because he had the one game where he looked good against the Cowboys, but he took so many sacks. He was terrible under pressure.
Horrible.
That was against a bad Arizona defense. This is not a good defense. Like, Arizona's defense, horrendous. Now he's facing one of the best coverage units in the entire league. Like, their rushing success numbers were not impressive at all in week 1. I just don't think there's a path to offense here. So I think this is like a 20-14 kind of game. I would lean toward Denver too, but I'm not laying it 3.5. I'd lay 3 and not 3.5. So I like the under.
More than fair. Let's keep it moving. What else we got? Ravens.
Ravens,
You and I are
3.5.
on the opposite side.
Yeah, the injury report is frustrating for me there because they lose Stanley. They lose Dobbins, of course. Humphrey remains out. So do they have I love the X's and O's of the Ravens when it comes to defensively, what they've done against Burrow. They've done an excellent job when they've had any semblance of a team available in slowing down this offense. But do they have the Jimmies and the Joes? That's the real question to pull this off on Sunday in Cincinnati. I think 3.5 is too high. Harbaugh is a dog, 18-8-1 in division, always great. But the question for me is, like, why do we just assume Joe Burrow is going to be back to normal again and like what we expect from Joe Burrow?
Here's why I assume that he's going to be back to normal. What's a team that always owns the Bengals? It's the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Don't you think when you're looking forward, like when you look at the schedule and you project how many wins are the Bengals going to get? Don't you give the Bengals this home win and then on the road, you maybe give the Ravens the win and it's kind of that 1-1 split? I'm looking at a Bengals team that since Joe Burrow got to Cleveland, there was the close game in the playoffs, right, with Tyler Huntley, where the Ravens defense played phenomenal.
Should have won that.
Overall, I agree. Since Joe Burrow got in the league, though, at home during the regular season, the Ravens don't beat him. Joe Burrow has actually blown out the Ravens, and I was not impressed by what I saw from Todd Monken's new offense with Baltimore. I'm on Lamar Jackson's over 23.5 passing touchdowns for the season, my season-long entry. I was not impressed, right? It was second lowest air yards of any quarterback. They couldn't run the football when Dobbins came out. And they have so many injuries. I personally, and now you got 3.5, I got 3. Different numbers, right? You're going over the field goal. I'm at the field goal. It's a little bit of a different bet. My thing is, if I'm getting the 3, basically they're going to win the game. I don't see how they lose. I really don't, especially with the Ravens. And I think Marlon Humphreys is the most important injury.
Yeah.
And then Stanley's number 2. I mean, how are they going to deal with Hendrickson? Like, I think it's a tough game for Baltimore. But then again, they could win by 3, right? They could win by 3 and you win the bet.
Right. And the thing about, Burrow, remember, he had 2 bad games last year. It wasn't just week 1 that he stunk against Pittsburgh. It was week 2. Everybody said, they get to play Cooper Rush at home against the Cowboys, and they couldn't do shit in that game either. So I think that, look, I came into the season lower than the market on the Bengals, higher than the market on the Ravens, as I am seemingly every year. And it was, the Ravens aren't staying healthy, so their ceiling is probably capped now. But in this matchup, if you give me over the field goal, I'm going to take it. At 3, I don't like Baltimore anymore. So, I know that there's been some movement back toward 3 today. I would not bet it at 3 because I do think that hook is very, very important in what should be a close game.
More than fair. Seahawks. Now we are aligned.
Yeah, this is classic overreaction a little. I mean, look, Seahawks defense, everybody's making their jokes. Matt Stafford balled, man. Like, that's what I thought in week 1. Like, balled. Like,
God,
the best quarterback in the whole league on Sunday for me.
Besides Tua.
I would say he did, given the situations.
Given the situation, I don't mind it, but damn, Tua looked good.
Yeah, he did.
But I agree. Stafford's the best quarterback in the NFL. I agree with you.
Exactly. Number 1 in my ratings.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do anything on early downs against Seattle. And then Stafford just hero balled his way past them. And I respect it. I think you tip your cap and you say, okay, now the Seahawks offensive issues are more real, but the Rams pass rush and the interior considerably better than what Detroit will offer on Sunday. And the look-ahead line was 2.5. So now I'm getting an extra 2.5 points. Did the Lions really play well the first game?
No, that's what I was saying. I was like, they scored 14 points. They didn't even play well. It's just the Chiefs made as many mistakes possible as you could make.
Yeah, the Chiefs basically handed them the game.
The Lions not scoring on a Chris Jones-less defense when they had all that time to prepare. I was so disappointed in them.
Yeah,
I'm also lower on the Lions. Like you said, you're higher on the Ravens, lower on the Bengals. I'm pretty low on the Lions in the market. I'm not high on the Seahawks. This is not really I think the Seahawks bounce back. I am fading the Lions off a win. That's more what I'm doing.
Yeah, and they got a great road win. Good for them. I still think they're the best team in the division. But like,
I think the Packers.
The second and third options in this offense were just kind of mediocre. And I know everybody's like, "Where's Jahmyr Gibbs?" The run success rate was pretty mediocre too. So was it the running back or was it the O-line? I don't know. But like that's their path here. And look, I get that the tackles are out for Seattle, and I think that's part of the reason that the line has moved here. But the line is just overmoved. So I'm going to be on the Hawks.
Me too. Anthony, I think that's it.
Appreciate it. It was fun. That's a lot. Whew. Need like a shower.
I know. I haven't even had a sip.
I don't know how you do this for 3 hours a day. It's crazy.
And I'm about to talk to Krabs. Just yell at him for about an hour.
I'm going to have to stick around for Krabs because I heard Krabs is running hot. So I'm going to have to listen.
Hot in the NFL. That's right. I see Krabs in Q. He's getting
He retired from baseball just in time to get a little hot streak going. And he's a Commanders guy too, right? So I'm curious if he's got a bet on that game.
Anthony, I appreciate you coming in, and can't wait to talk to you next week.
Absolutely. See you.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you. Krabs. He's back.
Take command. We're taking command. Left hand up, folks.
Left hand up, folks. I mean, they suck. Sam Howell is so bad.
They're fine. They're totally fine. That defense, elite. That defense is going to win them a lot of games. Sam Howell can't get worse than that.
Dobbs. They look great against Dobbs.
Dobbs looked great, I thought. He looked great. Dobbs played out of his mind.
How many beers do you have at that stadium? 11?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A ton.
I watched that game sober.
Boys.
I watched that game sober. Not sober, but sober-ish with the under. Both teams looked horrendous.
Yes, they did. But you know what?
So Commanders money line this week, right?
No, honestly, no. I think the Broncos win this game. I'll be honest with you. That's not my pick, though. And I'm here for NFL plays. Chat, I am retired from giving MLB plays on the stream because every time I did, they were cake. Okay, not an MLB guy, but still showed some heart. Got to show up today and give some NFL winners for the weekend. What's up, chat?
Very excited.
How we doing?
Very excited.
How we doing?
W Krabs. Krabs B, you always get my loyalty and positivity. You both know it. Skitchen is such a W. Have you seen him on Twitter? This guy is one of the greatest people I've ever met.
W's in chat, S Kitch. That's what I'm talking about. That could be Big Kitch right there. Is that
could be? I don't think it's Big Kitch. I haven't seen Big Kitch in like how long?
Where's Big Kitch?
I love Big Kitch, but that's Skitchen. A little different.
S Kitch.
S Kitch, I think.
It's cousin. Okay.
All right. Let's get into the Bengals winning. No, I don't want to talk about the Jets first. I want to talk about why you took
it's already up there.
All right.
It's already up there.
We'll do Jets first. We'll start with the Jets.
Ladies and gents, I don't care if a DoorDash driver, I don't care if POD Pete is playing QB for the Jets this week.
I'd be pretty good.
They are keeping this game within 10 points against the Cowboys, who are on their high horse, and they're going to be feeling like they can't be beaten by anybody after putting up a 40-burg against the Giants. I mean, absolutely demolishing them. Cowboys are feeling good right now. And that Jets defense, though, that might be the best damn defense in the league. These are probably two of the best defenses in the league. And I'm going to bet that they'll keep this game close within 10 points the entire time. And everyone's on the under. And I get it, right? Yeah, that's your way of backing the Jets in this game after seeing what their defense did. You're backing the under in the spot. That's perfect. That's not gross enough, though, to bet NFL, folks. You got to take it one step further And yes, you have to put points. Zach Wilson. Remember, chat, the nastier the bet in the NFL, the better. That shit hits. Plain and simple.
It does.
And the
And
Jets
that's why
plus
you've been
9,
hot to start the NFL season, just like
Jets
you were
plus
last
9
year.
might be the nastiest bet on the board.
Cardinals plus 4.
I don't know. I mean, the Cardinals almost beat the Commanders, the Super Bowl champs.
The Jets beat
Hey,
the Bills
man,
in front of
baby,
everyone.
come on.
The Jets beat the Bills on Monday Night Football in front of everybody.
Yeah, and no, the Bills lost to the Jets. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The Bills lost to the Jets.
Why not ML, Krabs? It's good. Yeah.
Why not ML? Because
That's gross. So the Jets plus the.
Why not parlay every underdog on the ML and send that for my POD? I mean, grow up, guys. Grow up.
It's a good point. Why are you
taking for some real cues?
Why are you taking the Bengals on the money line and not sacking up and taking the -3? What's going on here?
Because I have to get plays in by 6 a.m. Eastern for this stream, and when I looked at the lines on this only book we can bet them on, I saw a shitty line in my opinion. So I took the ML and laid it with 2 units.
Okay.
I think the Bengals win this game by 10 in my opinion. But I could see myself laying the ML with 2 units on Sunday. But I'm seeing it now back up to -3.5 and some places -4. So I do wish I took the spread -3.5 earlier.
Fours? Are we seeing fours?
I'm seeing fours floating around, Pete.
Come on.
I'm seeing fours floating around, Pete.
I mean, that doesn't mean shit. I was very afraid that I was getting duped. I love the Bengals.
Yeah.
Love the Bengals.
And it's a square play, right? It's not like the sharpest play ever, right? I mean, J.K. Dobbins' Achilles just exploded. I wouldn't say it's sharp, but it's still the Bengals. They might have looked like crud, but it's still the Bengals, right? Joe Burrow is an absolute dog, and he got a fresh haircut, which tells me he's hitting the reset button in this game, and he's coming out for a vengeance. And they dropped a dud against the Browns in week 1. They're not doing that again in week 2. No.
The haircut POD?
It is the haircut POD. Yeah, it's a new season. POD. I mean, it might as well have been preseason last week for Joe Burrow because he's got a fresh cut. It's a new year for him. Watch out.
Let's keep him moving. It moving. What else we got? Bills?
Sure. I wish I got, or is that -8.5? I thought that was -0.5. I wish it was -0.5. But the Bills are going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. Okay. The Raiders pulled out a win against the measly Broncos by the skin of their teeth in week 1. And the Bills and Josh Allen look like they haven't been practicing the entire, training camp, right? That's pretty much what we saw. But what people don't understand, because I don't know, maybe recency bias is the most important thing. Maybe they don't want to remember stuff from previous years or previous times when these guys have played. But Josh Allen stinks in the first week every single season. His numbers are atrocious in week 1. And the Bills notoriously get off to a slow start in week 1. And they bounce back with one of Josh Allen's best games of the season in week 2. And that's why you're seeing the line respect here. They opened up -9 in this spot. Yeah, they're down to 8.5, probably because it's like one of the most public dogs of the week on the Raiders after getting a nice win with their new QB on the road. So
is it a public dog? All I've heard is Bills bounce back this week.
Oof.
It's all I've heard.
That's not good.
I mean, that's the most common narrative I feel like out there, right? I remember we all have different timelines, right? You look at splits, they take in way more data. And the Bills are not this super public team. It's very split, at least from what I'm looking at.
50%
but everything I hear
bets.
is no, exactly. It's not like the Bills are not this 80% team that is like, oh,
that's not good.
What I am saying is all I hear is, of course, Bills bounce back. I
that's
love the spot for the Bills, and I'm not betting it.
Yeah, I'm betting it. I'll bet it for you. The Bills win this game by 2 touchdowns at least. They got a Josh Allen prize pick square up this week. He's not throwing an interception after what he did last week. All the stars are aligning. Gabe Davis is going to go off this week after he did nothing last week against
he might just not be very good.
Raiders secondary.
Gabe Davis might not be that good. I hope he is. We took his over in our season long, but he might not be that good.
You can't hop off after 1 week.
I'm not.
Then when he balls
I'm
after
saying he
this
might.
week.
I'm saying he might.
Okay. That was close.
What I'm saying is I'm approaching might.
Okay, well, I'm the captain of the Gabe Davis train, and the train is totally fine. It's still rolling. Is it getting faster? No. Yeah, left hand up. Is it getting faster? No, the train's not getting faster, but it's not slowing down. Gabe Davis does this all the time. This is how he plays. He either drops 20 yards or 120 yards. That's what he does. And he had 20 yards last week. Here comes a 120 piece. Hold the fry.
Hold the damn fry. Krabs, 3 winners Let's get you on that NFL leaderboard. Before we even keep moving on, let's flash the NFL leaderboard. Can you look at that for a second? Who's that sitting up top? Who's that up top?
You're telling me there's a whole new leaderboard. Also, there's only 6 people who did it.
So, I know.
Yeah,
well, we're in week 2. We're in week 2, so only 6 people have submitted football plays. But now everybody pretty much on this entire thing will now be in the football leaderboard.
What was my man Callie Wager betting on? Down 6 units.
We had
4 plays.
We had some big unit plays.
Okay. Noted. Well, I'll be 2-1 after this week at least, and I'll catch you guys at the top of the leaderboard. NFL, I can do, chat. Don't get me wrong. NFL, leave that to PODP, leave that to Javon. But when it's time for the real sport, I'm your guy. All right?
I'm the guy.
Okay. No, I'm the guy.
I'll talk to you guys. I appreciate you, my friend.
Peace, guys.
All right. Peace. Who's that in queue? Is that it's a little bit of some Jake Hazen. How did we do the last time we were on stream? I forget. I know you had a billion.
1-1, brother.
Oh yeah, 1-1 because the Rockies got postponed.
I did say bonus pick maybe outright, and they were fucking so close. I'm assuming
they
didn't
covered
watch that game.
They covered.
Dude, they got stopped at like an inch away from first down inside Memphis' 10 with 40 seconds left. They were this close from winning outright. I would have splooged if that would have won through for me.
Same thing. Did you watch that Colts Jaguars game in week 1? I had the Colts +5, and they were on the 1-yard line with 2 downs to go.
One of the very few people who doesn't really care about the NFL.
Yeah, that's weird.
Isn't it weird? It is weird. I used to be the biggest NFL fan ever, but then I went to college, and every Sunday, my degree was pretty tough, so every Sunday I would sit at home and do 9 hours of homework to procrastinate all fucking week. So I didn't have time to watch a game. The only time I could watch it clearly is on my Hulu on my laptop. I try to put streaming on the TV, and it just breaks up every 10 seconds. So I just couldn't lock in. So every Sunday the last 3 years, I've been locked in on homework and haven't had a chance to get in the NFL.
Nothing like watching the NFL on like sports.porn.xyz, and then you're like 10 minutes behind. Yeah.
That's one thing I'm really excited about being done with school is the fact I can just like not worry about homework, dude. Like I just watch football, no fucking worry back in my mind. Awesome.
But you did a little homework on this Friday MLB slate. Let's get into play number 1.
You think I'd hit the lab, dude? Shut up. Yeah, dude. This is more of a fade of the Yankees.
Cam is money just subbed. At a baby Cam. We miss you up here. We miss you.
Oh, dude,
sorry.
We got that comment. I'll get to it. I get to my Mariners pick.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is kind of just a fade against the Yankees against right-handed pitching. And granted, I want to take the under in this game, okay? But totals this year, I'm down like 13 units. So like totals has been kicking my ass this season. Money lines for size, we've been doing okay. So I decided lead in this game was the Pirates. So I think this might be a 0-0 game, dude. Oviedo might make a joke out of this Yankees lineup just because they are incapable of hitting righties. And Garrett Cole on the other side, am I going to come tell you that he's going to get blown up by the Pirates tonight? No, it's a possibility. Yeah, it's baseball. Anything can fucking happen. But I just think that Oviedo pitches a gem today, and since I've been getting popped on totals, it's maybe kind of soft, and instead of just backing the under, I'm going to back the dog in the first 5 plus a half, where I think a tie is a strong possibility.
More than fair. Play number 2. Nationals.
Yeah,
wow,
I'm kind
big dog.
I'm kind of a Jake Irvin guy.
Are you? It's kind of mid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna push any Jake Irvin narratives out and about, but like he's plus 166 on a money line against a Wade Miley on a Friday night, sure. You know.
All right, good analysis. Play number 3.
I mean, I could get into a little bit more, but
I mean, what are you gonna say?
I mean, Jake Irvin's gonna throw a 7-inning shutout tonight, so I'm excited.
Rockies.
Yeah, I liked him yesterday a lot more than today because it's like the whole thing of that fading like first game coming to quarters thing. Like, they ever flew into Denver?
Yeah.
It just fucking sucks just in altitude. Like, not just as like a baseball perspective, just as a human being, just adjusting from like just being sea level to that altitude just sucks. Like, you're gonna get sickness from it and stuff. And that's kind of more the reason I think that system works. And this may kind of negate it's already at night there. But, you know, Logan Webb's a sinker changeup guy, and those 2 pitches don't really serve too well over in Coors Field. And I think at plus 194 price, the Giants have been kind of looking dead. Sure, why not? You know, I think it's a good enough price to take a dog here.
Let's keep rolling. Mariners.
Dude, fucking Cam is funny, dude. That fucking pussy. That fucker. I tweeted out like this card. You know me. I tweet a lot about George Kirby and Justin Steele. The 2 guys I tweet about often. And I tweeted out like something along the lines of like they think you don't have any heart 68. You think they think you're not elite 68. Spotlight on you tonight, prove them wrong. Then Cam quote tweeted it and said Dodgers first 5 money line, like it's Hanley. So I was like, all right, dude, take my fucking action. So now I have 2 units on this. I have 1 unit on the full game money line, and I have 1 unit on the first 5 because Cam is soft and didn't want to fade me directly, so I made him do it by taking his action. So yeah, that's a little backstory about that. But now let's get into the pitch. Peter, they're saying George Kirby's not good anymore. They're saying he fell off, dude. Maybe
my eyes are going to be glued to this game.
They're saying he's not good anymore, Pete. What's up with this?
I had Anthony DiBundo come on and say that Bobby Miller is better than George Kirby.
What?
You heard me. And I said to Anthony, I was like, I get it, right? You look at pitch modeling, you look at the stuff plus numbers, you look at a lot of different things, and Bobby Miller, from a stuff perspective, is the better pitcher. But there are a few human beings on this planet, on this green earth, that I would rather have in a must-win game than George motherfucking Kirby.
This last start, that was the first time he's walked somebody since July.
Down your neck. Hit me.
Pumping strikes, dude.
Pumping.
Just hit me, dude.
And I don't give a shit what he said after. Yeah, was it a bad look? Obviously, it's a bad look. He didn't mean it.
People think he
doesn't
have any dog in him. That's like, dude, Kirby is a fucking dog. He's not a
Kirby is a dog. You cannot have dog. If you go against Houston and throw 7 shutty and no walks and just say, yeah, Houston, best lineup in the postseason.
And
let's see what you got.
And the series before that, he went through Vladdy, Bichette, and Springer
but they
with
suck.
2 Ks.
But they suck.
9 runs.
No, I know. I just I'm just watching him. I agree. I agree with you. I'm just
8 innings pitched in the playoffs, no earned runs, and no walks either. But that's like whatever for George Kirby. He doesn't block anybody. But yeah, no, this is Marty for a super just what you looking for? Selected, just biased, just I don't want to say that, but a stat head stat. In 61 innings pitched this year, when George Kirby is facing a team with a winning record and at home, he's a 0.55 ERA.
Tell me he doesn't have dog in him. You can't.
Against teams that have over a 500 winning record, he has a 2.12 ERA. Against teams with below 500 winning record, he has a 4.2 ERA. Basically saying he doesn't need it. He just doesn't give a fuck about those games. He wants to face the competition. And tonight he's getting one of the best lineups in baseball at his crib. After all Twitter is telling him that he's washed, he's a baby, and he's freaking bleeding out his vagina. Well, fuck it, dude. George Kirby ain't going down like this, and he's gonna come out in a must-win series for the Mariners, only being a game and a half up. It's a little bit biased, sure, dude, but it's fucking George Kirby at home against a winning team. It pays out more often than not. So
I love it.
This is
fired up.
I'm a pretty biased. Yeah, because I have this future on him. And should I hedge? 1.5 games up. I can get plus 370 them not to make the playoffs right now. I don't think that line's. I don't think they should be minus 500 to make the playoffs right now. I don't think they should be like that at all. They're game and a half ups. They have 2 series with Houston left and 2 series with Rangers left. They have a spurt at 11 straight games. All they play is Houston and all they play is Texas, and they have this Dodgers series in between.
Here's why you shouldn't hedge. Who are you going to bet on in those games? Not against the Astros, maybe. Who are you going to bet on against the Rangers? That's their competition in the Blue Jays as well. Who are you going to bet on? You know who you're going to bet on.
Sorry, dude. That team has no heart.
You know who you're going to bet on, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be on the Mariners against those Rangers.
Yeah.
And it's like, so do you think the Mariners can outlast the Blue Jays and the Rangers? That's why they're minus 500. The books think they can. I think they can.
Yeah,
I got them every which way, too.
They're a better team than, honestly, like, you go through top of the roster than both those teams.
They're better.
The pitching is so much better.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. Am I the last one on today?
No, we got Colby coming on, so I got to bounce you.
Oh, dude. I mean, this might be the squarest take of all time, but, like, just, like, I'm just challenging the books to prove me wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this line, and I was like, yeah, I mean.
Well, remember to start the year. My first.
But Giolito gets line respect.
Exactly. That's why I'm not too worried about it. But remember getting the repeater, this kind of same spot, beginning of the year, like April. And it was George Kirby on the road against Zach Plesac, and the Mariners were minus 120. I texted him, dude, this is a nuke. I'm like, Kirby versus the fucking Guardians. He's gonna force him to throw strikes. If they're not gonna get bullshit weak ass hits, like he's gonna force him to hit it. And you're like, oh no, line's pretty sketchy. This is the same thing I feel right here. I mean, like, this is the squarest play ever. If you have any sort of contrarian brain in you, like, do not take this. This is a squarest play. How long? This is probably one of the squarest plays of the season. No?
Yeah, I mean, it's
we're not just counting Brady's -1.5 every day.
Yeah.
Like, this is like for a short line's sake. This is the easiest play of the season. But like, Lucas Giolito, I think it's just. If
All right, my friend.
Go to the Yankees.
What'd you say?
If you want regression to hit you, go to the Yankees. Go figure it out.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. All right, we got to keep moving. We just got so many people with so many plays. We'll talk to you. Good stuff per usual. I don't know if anybody heard it. It did sound like he was speaking literally through a potato, but I didn't want to get through his mojo. Colby,
I thought my internet was down or something.
Oh, you sound great.
Oh my God. Thank God. Good. Okay. I thought my internet was down.
No, you sound amazing. Let's talk. What are we on
just
tonight?
thinking-
Oh, we got. Do we have MLB and NFL or just NFL?
I didn't have time today. I was traveling to Philly. I'm visiting my grandpa tomorrow. So I was lucky to cap the NFL slate today. I didn't get the MLB slate, unfortunately, but I have 4 picks in NFL, so I'm excited to talk about it, Pete.
Bengals, let's roll.
Shall we? Let's do it, man. Start with the Bengals. So this was a spot where I actually went into this game, like doing my research on this game, and I was actually leaning Ravens, and potentially Ravens money line, but I came away with it actually liking the Bengals on somewhat of a buy low bounce back spot. Rewatched the Ravens game against the Texans, and you could clearly tell that Lamar was uncomfortable in this offense. The first week, a new offensive coordinator was definitely not fully comfortable yet. And was, out of his element against the Texans defense that is certainly not good. Like the Texans are, they're fine, but they're not a good football team, obviously. But they also are going to be in a tough spot this week, Pete. They have Ronnie Stanley's out, as well as Linderbaum, who is their starting center, is also out. So they're missing 2 of their main offensive lineman core. And
sorry, before you continue, I just want to answer this. Only concern I have with Bengals is someone just put 360K on the Bengals -3. We get those alerts all the time. I got the same alert yesterday that someone put 250K on the Vikings +6 or Vikings +6.5 in a cash. People put big bets. They get reported. The handles on these games are going to be millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. 360K sounds like a lot. It gets thrown out there. Cool bet. Cool Twitter. People get paid for Twitter now for engagement. Doesn't mean shit. I literally could give a shit about any of those. And not saying that, like, if you care about them, great. Me personally, I could give a shit about a tweet about someone putting a large wager on a team. If they have that much money, they obviously like it a lot. So I don't care.
Well, I think that's also a somewhat of a misconception, Pete, because there's tons of bettors that are big bettors that are not good handicappers. There's plenty of bettors out there that are known as, whale bettors that are not sharp bettors. There's a reason they're able to put $500,000 down at whatever sportsbook they're putting it down. It's because it's not because they're cleaning out that.
And exactly, we don't know what that person's record is. It could be 0-40 and they could be down $10 million, or they could actually be incredible. And that 360K actually means something. I don't know. I don't care. I like the spot. That's not going to take me off it, is what I mean.
Totally. So you have
big whale balls plays that
2 offensive linemen. You have 2 offensive linemen out for the Ravens. Lamar last week averaged 6.4 average air yards per attempt.
It was lower.
So was not pushing the ball deep.
I think it was lower.
Yeah. Was not pushing the ball deep. He was under constant pressure. The line didn't play good last week. And no J.K. Dobbins this week, which was huge. And I'm going to say that week 1 performance by the Bengals was somewhat of a fluke. Like there was bad weather. You have a really good Browns defensive line, a really good Browns defense. And I think it was just kind of a fluky performance by Burrow, and I think he gets back to doing what he does this week. And kind of a short line. I think if the Bengals play the way they should have last week, and the Ravens, the Ravens like blew out the Texans, they really didn't. It was 7-6 after the first half. It was sloppy football. But they covered by a ton. I think this line would probably be more like -4.5, -5. So I like the Bengals in this spot a lot. It's really just a buy low spot for me.
Fair. I'm on the Bengals too. Let's keep it moving. What else we got?
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Now we're against each other.
Are you on the under?
I'm on the under 46.5.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't look at your plays because I like just like on a Friday, I was just like, I don't want to look at him. I just want to see what happens. I was close to taking the Pats +3. I don't think if that's a horrible play.
Be honest, you're taking Pats +3. You're just not putting it on the. You're taking.
I will probably put a unit on it on my own.
Yeah.
But what really scared me off of Pats +3 at the end of the day is their entire O-line found themselves in the injury report this week. Like, literally their entire starting O-line on the injury report. I don't know if I've ever seen that in week 2 of a football season ever. But also Jack Jones is on the injury report as well. And he was a full participant on Wednesday. Yesterday, apparently tweaked something and did not practice today, which is super concerning because Jack Jones is who covers Tyreek Hill. He is the speedster for the Pats, and if you don't have somebody to cover Tyreek Hill, you're going to have not a fun day against Tua and Tyreek, and this Dolphins offense, who can really just they can weave and they can dissect any defense. I really think like the Pats defense is really damn good, but this Dolphins offense is really damn good. But also this Dolphins defense got the ball just like jammed down their throats last weekend. And I think the Pats can actually do that as well this weekend. I think they get the running game going. Mac Jones, did make his accuracy wasn't perfect, but I liked the way the offense looked, and he looked confident in this offense. Like, he did not look like he looked last year, where he was like just angry at the way the offense was rolling. I think, we've never seen Mac throw 3 touchdowns and 350 yards. So I would not be surprised if there's points here, but I want to hear your case for the under quickly.
Well, it's a prime time divisional game. So those trends are going to point initially to the under. Here was my thought about it. So I was really impressed with how the Patriots did against Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. Now, the weather wasn't great. I totally get that. But I thought they were dominant. And then what did I see? Jalen Hurts looked perfectly fine against the Minnesota Vikings through the air. Now, everything wasn't perfect, right, with him, but he looked a hell of a lot better. I see Tua just put up 36 points against the Los Angeles Chargers, and now he has to go into Foxborough. He ain't playing on the turf anymore against a bad Chargers defense. He's going into a game where Bill Belichick knows what the Chargers want to do. Knows what the Dolphins want to do. I respect the hell out of Vic Fangio, the Dolphins defensive coordinator. I think it's one of those games where they got the kinks out early. They ran into Justin Herbert at home, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever laid my eyes on from a talent perspective, and they gave up some points. But Tua just had to keep going, and it ended up just being a high-scoring game. I think this line is weirdly low. I bet the under 46.5. Primetime under. And how do you beat the Dolphins? Run the football. And Mac Jones, I think the 300 yards with 3 touchdowns, I think it's way over exaggerated. He threw the ball 54 times. When you throw the ball 54 times and you're not an idiot, you're probably going to have close to 300 yards. I think the Patriots are going to run the football, keep the ball out of Tua's hands, and I respect Bill Belichick's defense enough against a divisional foe to keep the Dolphins in check moderately. I think this is a 24-21 Dolphins win. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the Patriots win outright.
No, man. I was really close to taking the Pats. And I probably will at later date.
Just say you will.
Yes, I will.
You're going to take them every week. It's just when you put them on streams when you actually really like them.
it should be a game. I think you're right that the Pats are going to run the ball a lot in this game, and that Dolphins defense really got the ball. Like the Chargers, what did they put up? Over 200 yards on the ground?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. So we'll see. This, you know what? The last thing I want to say about this, though, the line is moving like crazy on this game. It went up and then went back down. So I don't know what the line movement will show from now until Sunday night, but I'm very curious to see the way the line moves. It's always not fun to go against you, but I'm kind of excited for this game just to see what happens, Pete.
It will be fun. We'll be texting back and forth. All right, let's talk Texans.
Yeah, not too much to go like super deep into this one, but you have two rookie quarterbacks facing off. The line is basically even, and I'm going to take the home team. This Colts defense definitely has some holes in it. And the Texans didn't play too bad against the Ravens last week, man. That Ravens defense is not easy to go against. Like, they were getting pressure on Stroud like crazy, and Stroud actually, credit to him, played decently well for a rookie making his debut against a really damn good Ravens defense. And Anthony Richardson did play really well too, man. Like, the Colts were really in that game, and the defense let them down, and that's why.
Personally, I'm not even. I lean with the Texans with you. I didn't think Rich played that well. I didn't.
He had some errant throws.
Yeah, I think he's just such a freak athlete. He's such a freak athlete that he can make things look better than they are. I personally did not think he played very well. He's new. I mean, he's so young and raw. Like, he shouldn't even be starting anyway. I think he's going to be a great quarterback someday. It's very early. Doesn't have the weapons. The issue with this bet is Colby. And I lean the Texans with you. Stroud just hopped up on the injury report with the shoulder thing.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
No, I took his over passing yards. I hope he plays.
Oh, God.
And I think he will. He's questionable. He's not out. But he just popped up today with a shoulder thing. Look it up. I hope I'm wrong.
That's not
I played his over passing yards. I hope.
Okay. We'll see. But yeah, this one was like a pretty easy, like, just look at it lean for me. I was like, all right, two rookies. I'll take the home team. Like, pretty simple. It's pretty much my analysis on that one.
Fair enough.
Sometimes that's all it is. This one I added late. I don't know how this game's going to play out, but I know that I like the Chiefs offense. So I'm just going to roll with the Chiefs offense. That seems like a pretty damn good bet to me. The Jaguars, again, really, like, they should have let up a lot more points to Anthony Richardson last week. Like, the Colts were really trying hard not to play well last week, and you had a rookie quarterback doing so. And I think the Chiefs, with Travis Kelce back and rejuvenated, I know that Chris Jones isn't an offensive player, but just having him there, it also impacts the whole team. So I think that the Chiefs put up a ton of points here. This seems low to me. Like, this seems really low to me. And this Jacksonville defense is definitely, solid, but we talked about it last week. That's why we like the Colts. They're not incredible. So yeah, that's just really my lean. It's a bounce back with Kelce coming back. I don't know how the Jaguars offense is going to do that. That's why I didn't take the Chiefs, if that makes sense. Like, this does.
They could. I totally agree with you. I don't believe in this Jaguars defense at all. Larry Bean makes a good point. Colts defense scored a touchdown, also had a lot of short field positions due to Jags not converting on 4th and short. Couldn't be any. I got to duck out. Boys in chat, best of luck, fellas. Hope you all cash. Bean, Colby, great content. Great job, lads. Best of luck. Skitchin, you're such a goat. I love you, my man. We'll talk to you soon. Do we have any more plays from you, Cole?
That's it, my man. Those four are all I'm on right now. I might add some. So if you're not following me already, definitely go follow me on Pikkit, because I'll definitely have, like, I would say a couple more plays ahead of the weekend.
What are you leaning?
I don't know yet.
You just want to bet more.
I want to have more plays.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I told you. I'm the same way too. It's like, what do you mean more bets? I'm like, I don't know, but I want more bets.
Yeah. I just want to have more action out there, dude. Come on.
I definitely don't hate that. You're gonna lose this over though.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
No, it's gonna be fun shit talking. I don't know. I could lose it too.
At the end of the day, like, I'll just be rooting for the Pats. I'm like,
yeah.
So actually, Cohen, delete it. Add Pats +3.
No. So Colby, I just want everybody to know, Colby, similar to Gino, will bet on the Patriots every week. He'll find a way, he'll find an angle, and he will bet on the Patriots every week. We did the podcast together last year. He didn't bring on Patriots every week. But when he did bring the Patriots on, he was very good.
Yeah.
He's not bringing the Patriots on this week. That's when even last year, I knew to fade the Pats. When Colby didn't like them, they lost. When Colby bet them, he did pretty well. Similar to the Red Sox this year, pretty well. Actually,
better than the Red Sox. Like last year on the Pats, man, for the first 6 times I bet on them, I think I was 5-1. It was crazy.
Yeah, but you didn't bet on them some days.
I
You
did
can't
not
help
bet
yourself.
on some days.
You
I didn't
can't.
bet on this week for a reason, man. Like seriously, I was close to. It's just these injuries are not injuries I want to deal with against this Dolphins team. Like this Dolphins team is not taken lightly. But primetime home team, like, it's not the worst bet.
Also, you versus Aram.
Is he on? Oh yeah. Well,
No, he's not all the Dolphins. It's just Dolphins.
I don't think
fan
he even
versus
has NFL plays.
No, he doesn't know
He's
shit.
just on baseball. Yeah, it's okay.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks
all
for
right?
having me, man. Enjoy your
Good
weekend.
shit.
I'll talk to you later.
You too. Producer Cohen, can we flash the NFL leaderboard, show people where they are again, and then the MLB leaderboard as well? NFL leaderboard, your boy up top. How about it? How about us? People say I don't know the NFL. Crab saying, come to me for plays. How about come to me for plays? MLB, that's a little bit of a different story. A little bit of a different story this year, and it is early, so I ain't counting no chickens yet. I ain't counting no chickens. Who do we have left on the queue? Producer Cohen is not in studio today. He is doing this remote. Let me check the
Arm and mid-major.
arm and mid-major.
I don't know about mid-major yet, though.
We aren't sure about mid-major. Oh, Javon. We got Javon. Oh, it's 6:50. Oh, we're early on Aram. We're very early. Let me shoot Aram a text. Aram in 3 minutes. Oh, mid-major just texted me. Producer Cohen. Shit, man, totally forgot it's Friday somehow. Can't make it, unfortunately. You could void my place. So all we got is Aram, then Javon. And Aram is on in 3 minutes. I'm so thirsty.
Got you, King.
Oh, Javi, thank you so much. I am about to die over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Nice and cold, too.
Oh,
Go ahead, keep it. You're good.
oh. Felt like I was going to die. Been talking so much. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. I'm having a blast. Pete, what were your thoughts on Dodgers versus Mariners as far as the side? I am rooting so heavily for the Mariners. To be honest, guys, I've kind of taken my gambling hat off of baseball, at least for the next couple of days. Didn't really look into the game. I've just been putting my NFL hat on, right? If we're going to bet, let's bet on something that works. Shotgun the water, Pete? It's not even possible. Glad you have nothing pending today, Peter. This is so boring. You know what?
Look at Cohen's text.
Cohen just text me. See what he said. If it ain't working, no need to push. Javon good on after Arm whenever, so just waiting on Arm. He's on another stream. Should be done soon. Perfect. So we're just waiting. Can I hear from chat? What are we including MLB playoffs and tracking? We are not. So it's at the end of the regular season. But again, we're still going to bet in the playoffs and we're still taking plays and all that kind of stuff. But it is just regular season. Early thoughts on Monday Night Football. Producer Cohen, if you want to pull up, let's talk about early leans. Covers.com. So let's click into these Monday Night Football games are pretty tough, but I can give you my early leans. Sharp plays the Panthers. I know I don't want to take it either. I don't believe in the Panthers. The problem is that's the spot. We know the trend. I went over it at the beginning of the stream. 25-5. You play a division game, you lose that division game, then you play a division game in week 2. Now, this is a purely week 2 trend, right? Purely week 2. My initial lean right now is the Panthers. Now, for Browns Steelers, might square up and take that under. I know a lot of people are going to be on that under. They might not be. But, and I lean both dogs, to be perfectly honest with you. Haven't placed anything yet. Still got to look more into the game. But as of now, I'm leaning Panthers +3, the under in Steelers Browns, and Pittsburgh plus the 2.5. But I don't know yet. I haven't bet anything yet, but I'll let you guys know. Arm's here. Arm
That's
Layton.
good. How we
Dolphins,
doing?
Pats this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's a square play that's going to cash. That one's going to kill the books. That one's going to kill the books.
Colby and I
Dolphins
are
are
against
clean.
each other on the total.
Colby thinks it goes over.
I think it goes under.
I think it goes under.
Come on.
Yeah, I do. I
Come
do think
on.
it goes under. Did Colby also give out Pats?
No, but he's betting it. Like I said, with Colby will bet the Patriots every week.
Mhm.
It's just, will he bring it on stream?
Which is crazy to me because it's like I'm not betting on the team I follow. Like
He can't
unless I really feel like they're going to win. But like
He's
not
a
every single
different
week.
fan. He's a different fan.
Yeah, he's built different.
He's built a little bit different. All right, let's get into MLB though. Enough football talk.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that sport.
Very
No, actually,
popular
I'm excited
playoff.
to start mixing in some football picks. I'll be bringing that to the table very soon. But
I like that.
I'm focused on trying to win one of our Twitch subscribers
Let's put up that MLB leaderboard to show the people where Arm
Yeah.
Layton is. Let's not
let
forget
off
about
a little
Arm
bit of
Layton.
steam. A little bit of steam. I had a 1 and 2 day the other yesterday or the day before that, but we're still hanging in there. And honestly, man, like this is kind of like I think my squarest board I've had in a while, and I'm kind of just here for it. I just think
Let's get after it.
sometimes it's just there. Sometimes it's just there, and I was really like caught off guard by some of these totals and some of these lines. So I'll start with Marlins Braves over 9. This is a series. Well, this series is interesting in general, but this is a Johnny Cueto, Bryce Elder start. And yes, the Marlins offense has been putrid, which I think is the only thing that's keeping this under 10 is because of how bad the Marlins offense has been. But Jazz Chisholm will be in the lineup today, thankfully. He's been banged up, but will be able to play today. Johnny Cueto stinks, man. Like he finessed a couple decent starts, and that kind of like kept him in the rotation and kept him maybe out of auto fade territory. But dude, the Braves are going to tee off on Johnny Cueto. They're playing loose. They just clinched, but they're still, they want to make sure they get that home field advantage, and they're still going to try to win. But I think this is a game where not only could the Braves put up 5-6 runs on their own, maybe more than that, they might get the total on their own. But on the flip side, Elder, he has come down to earth in the second half. The Marlins have actually had a couple decent showings against him, and they've seen him plenty this year. I think this is an opportunity coming back home. The Marlins can put up at least a couple runs on Elder. But this is also one of those where if the Braves absolutely boat race the Marlins and Johnny Cueto, the Marlins might be looking at the rest of the series saying, hey, like, let's try to win the next 2. They already have a bullpen game potentially in one of the games in this series. So they're definitely going to either try to stretch out Cueto if it gets ugly or throw in someone who's garbage just to try to preserve the next 2 games. So I think if this one gets ugly, it'll get uglier really quick. And that's why I think 10 is very attainable. And 9 being a push is crazy.
Blue Whale Balls continues to run his mouth. Yo, Chad, if you're new to the stream, you're supposed to fade this fellow on the stream right now. I forgot his name, but he's the cake boss is what I call him.
Did he not?
Producer Cohen, can you put the leaderboard up again?
Yeah.
Please put the leaderboard up again.
Please put the leaderboard up again.
Put up the leaderboard. So Blue Whale Balls, if you've stayed true to your word, which I doubt you have, you're down.
Yeah, you're down. You're in piss.
Like you're down. Like you're down.
Me.
Like what do you mean? You're down.
How many? What are we up? 23 units in the last month and change. Like, come on, Blue Whale Balls.
No, I mean he's like it's a lot of this, Blue Whale Balls. It's a lot of this, and it's not a lot of here's my slip. Here's
my slip. Come on, man. Send me the slip.
Aram Layton has said, even when he was down in the trenches, has said, Blue Whale Balls, send me your slip. Aram Layton, have you gotten a slip yet?
Nope, no slips. 0 slips.
Really?
No slips.
That's surprising to me. Oh,
No.
wait. It's the least surprising thing I've ever heard. Let's get to play number 2.
This is another square one, man. I can't believe how low this total is. But I'm just gonna go with it. Like again, it's just one of those where it's like, if I don't bet it, I'm gonna be livid because I just think this is another one that's really interesting. I think it's we're at the point now where I do think that the Blue Jays offense is going to start to wake up a little bit. Vladdy, by the way, big swing the other day, starting to look a little bit better, but
not really. Hit that one home run and then sucked the rest of the game again.
It's okay. We'll take the one big hit. I know that's what he does.
All I need is one. It could be an infield hit. It could be a home run. It doesn't matter. I need hits.
just a hit a day. But Bayo, he's been fine. He's kind of slowed down as he's kind of hit this new marker for innings. And in the last 3 starts, it's been fine, but not great. And I think this is still a spot where I think they'll get to him for 3 or 4. Also, the bullpen is a little bit taxed. No Kenley. I could see this kind of getting covered on the back end as well. And then the Red Sox on the other side, I mean, like they can still swing it. And I know Barrios has been consistently on the field. And through the first half, he was fine. But this is a guy that was really struggling, had a really rough stretch, and then shakes it off with a start against Oakland and a start against Kansas City, where he gets 2 quality starts there. But don't let that take away from the fact that this guy hit a wall in his last 4 starts before that. So I think it's kind of back to struggling again. And I just feel like this is way too low of a total because I don't trust both starters. I think both of which are going to give up a handful of runs. And then I think we're going to get a cover on the back end even with the bullpens right now, especially with Boston's bullpen where it's at. And Toronto's got to swing it, man. And I think they're going to here a little bit.
Arm got a date with a lady friend tonight and accidentally ripped my THC pen over the Nick stick. Any tips from Budman?
Oh, man.
His face just lit up. He's like, I've been in that situation.
I've actually been in that situation. Not like it was just accidentally took it and then realized I had to be somewhere. Oof, that's a good question. I would say take a shower.
Cold shower.
Splash some water in your face. And then if you think you sound weird, you probably don't sound that weird, but you thinking that you sound weird will make you sound weird. So you're not as weird as you think you sound. You're good. She doesn't realize it. Just vibe out.
The cold shower and get a coffee.
Cold shower and coffee, and trust that you'll actually be looser and funnier. And don't overthink it. But that's fun.
For Blue Whale Balls, Arm up and tell your mom you smoke. He's just
she's here. You could tell her. I just went to the dispensary with her. I'm in Colorado right now.
Play number 3.
Okay. This is another one that blew my mind. Peter, can you tell me what's wrong with the lines today? Can you tell me what's wrong with the totals? I'm thinking grand salami almost. If like that was in play here. John Gray has been terrible of late. I know he's getting some swings and misses, but you look at the ERA, like I just have not loved what I've seen from him. I think he's gotten away with some stuff, even in some of the quality starts. 5 earned runs against the D-backs, 3 earned runs against the Mets, 3 earned runs in a short start against the Twins, and then 4 runs against the Athletics, only going 2 2/3. Like for me, I feel like he has to get swings and misses to be successful. And Cleveland, like I know the offense is frustrating. I know a lot of people don't want to touch Cleveland overs, but I really do feel like it's going to be a pretty easy over here. And then on the flip side, you got Lucas Giolito on the bump, man. I'm going to fade that guy every single time. You can say what you want about the Rangers and how they've fizzled out a little bit. And I know Giolito, like it's an obvious play. This guy's given up 9 home runs in his last 3 starts. One thing the Rangers do is they hit home runs. And again, the Rangers, they've been swinging it pretty well lately. I think they're going to absolutely boat race Lucas Giolito. And on the flip side, I don't think John Gray is going to be absolutely lights out either.
Couldn't agree with you more. I also
it is sus, though. It is like a pretty sus line. Also,
yeah, it is sus.
Coop
but then
Eagle
again, I keep saying
too. We got Coop Eagle talking trash too. Says it makes sense in my picks. I'm up.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. Like you're down if you have faded Arm. Like you're objectively down.
Yeah. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Why is it 7.5, Peter? Can you explain this to me?
Giolito gets line respect every game. I should have known this from the beginning of the year. He sucks.
It's 9 home runs.
The Rangers are minus 120. The Rangers are minus 120.
That I was going to take that, and I was like, that scares me. Maybe it's a John Gray like fade, but then the total's 7.5. It's like, what do they think? They think Giolito is going to shove?
I'll pay to find out.
Exactly. I will absolutely pay to find out. That's fine by me.
Good tips from Budman about to down a C4 and throw in a lip pillow to try and relax. I mean, that's a winning formula right there. It's a winning formula. Is that it? Is that all the plays we got? Oh no, Chicago.
This is the squarest of all squares, baby. Squarest of all squares. This is a literal bomb.
This is a little rectangle. I mean,
and this is another pay to find out, and I just don't care. Like I think
don't care.
Lack of respect for Justin Steele is one side of it. But dude, did you not see Brandon Pfaadt's last start against the Cubs? I know he ended up kind of like finessing his way to 6 innings, Oh my
you
God.
made me fall in love with Brandon Pfaadt, and I don't know if I can ever forgive you because
I
I think
know,
I'm down 58 units this year.
I
Just
know.
in Brandon
I'm
Pfaadt.
sorry. I didn't.
No, but
see
I
it.
still believe in him moving forward.
I do.
I
I
can't.
still think he's going to be good next year. But dude,
He
they
gives
were
up missiles.
nukes.
Yeah.
Nukes. The Cubs just hit 3 bombs against him last game. And again, like they just saw him. This is a team that's been struggling. They go to Coors, they don't swing it. And I think that's part of the reason why it's priced so weird. And you get a little bit of that Coors hangover. If there's anything that can cure a Coors hangover, it's seeing the guy that you just teed off on a few days ago, 5 days ago, just teed off on him and watching that start, dude, hanging stuff. And the takes were so easy. They look so comfortable against him. The stuff's just, the breaking balls are too big right now. I know that the Cubs offense has been struggling, but again, this is me kind of buying them at the bottom here because I really think that they're priced poorly because of the struggles of late. This is a perfect bounce back opportunity. And I still think the Cubs are a good baseball team, and there's no reason for them not to be able to pull this out. And again, it's the first 5. Justin Steele continues to just be like disrespected. I know that it's not the best environment for him to pitch in, and I know the D-backs can swing it a little bit, and I know the D-backs just saw him, but he just shoved against them. And I think he's going to shove again. He's a guy that's just always going to outperform whatever you think. 1 earned run over his last 21 innings. Like I'm going to side with that, and I'll die on that hill. That's fine. I don't care if it's square.
More than fair. More than fair. I mean, you got a bad system, a team coming off Coors Field at the same time. You got a bad pitcher on the other side who they're comfortable with. Like, how about that system? You played that system? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't end up going too well for Brandon Pfaadt. Damn it, Brandon Pfaadt. I'm still so mad at him. But, like, I still believe in him.
He'll be good.
It's cost me so much money.
He'll be good. He'll be good. Just not today.
Not today or this the rest of
Big
this year.
Wellball's picked his right spots, and now he's Bezos. So that must mean he hasn't bet for the last month and a half.
No, I bet. Yeah. Oh, he only fit. That's the same comments I got. Oh, I've been fading him all year. And then I win. Where are you? Did you fade then? Or no, just when I lost? You're amazing. You have a crystal ball. Genius.
Really, yeah. I love Blue Wellballs, though. I love you.
I know. You guys got a good conversation. All right, man. We'll talk to you.
Take care, brother.
You too. And last, but certainly not least. Flash that MLB leaderboard. Show that MLB leaderboard for the people. Show my guy Devon. You got work to do. You got to catch all that money to do. But he's on the leaderboard today, so this is kind of a day where you catch up to him a little bit. And when I say you've been falling a little bit, Javon's standard's been falling. You haven't been sweeping. You've been going a little 1-2 action. Maybe a little 1-1 missed the prize picks entry.
Yeah, can't have those. Can't have those. But yeah, starting up right now, first play. I'm also
MLB.
On that.
We'll do MLB, then we'll do NFL.
Yeah, we'll do that now, especially since I'm on that Marlins over that's starting up right now, which is also the squad ride. I don't want to just echo everything Aaron had to say, but Johnny Cueto is going to get absolutely destroyed by this Braves lineup, and it's not really the hottest take there. He's been giving up a lot of hard contact. We had a little flash kind of when he came back at first, kind of thinking like, oh, he would put it together. He'd be a decent innings eater for the back end of this rotation, and it was like that for a while. Not so much anymore. I mean, he's getting destroyed in this Braves matchup. Certainly doesn't help anybody, but especially I think Johnny Cueto in the spot. But like sneakily, I think the Marlins might be kind of live in this game too. Bryce Elder, we've been targeting that regression for the entirety of the season. Second half of the season, really post All-Star break, we've started to see it. And especially with Jazz in this lineup, another guy who like increasingly you're seeing a lot of hard contact off of him. Jazz being back in the lineup today certainly helps. I think a lot of the guys at the top of the lineup have a really good matchup, especially after a majority of the guys have seen him already a time or two through. So I do expect the Marlins to put up runs, and I do expect him to be in this game, and I don't think it's going to be on the back of a Johnny Cueto masterclass. So love some runs here, and he made great points about the bullpen usage and what we have looking forward for the rest of the series, because this is massive for the Marlins kind of stay in this wild card race. I'm praying that they continue to lose, which I love that they're playing the Braves this weekend. But, you know, if they get down early on the backs of Johnny Cueto, they're not bringing out the A-arms for, you know, the rest of this weekend, especially with, you know, the situations they have looming for the next couple days. So that's a great thing to have on your side.
Not a baby. Let's keep it rolling. Play number 2, Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. Team total over, which I actually have 4, and I had to just put an extra half unit on 4.5 because I know it's the line that most people have now. So that's why it's only half unit, not a lack of confidence or anything, but it's exactly what I have on it. Logan Webb. I heard that pitch a little bit today about how he struggles in cores, and it's because of his pitch mix. Everything accordingly because of that, and I love everything about it. And it's not just the fact that you've seen it over his career, but I've seen it in a sample size this season. This is going to be the fourth time this season that he's going to be facing the Rockies. Obviously, with how the Rockies have performed this year and kind of changed personnel, you have some different guys in that lineup. So it's not like you're seeing the same exact lineup for the fourth straight start. But a lot of the guys who I think can do the damage are the guys that he's seen quite a few times, excluding, I guess, Nolan Jones, who only played, I think, 1 or 2 of those games. But he's going to get destroyed today. There's a reason we see these lines, not just because of his history in cores, but you talk about the pitch arsenal, it doesn't hold up in cores, and you have a lot of guys, especially at the top of the lineup, like a Nolan Jones, like a Ryan McMahon, like a Charlie Blackmon, a lot of those lefties especially, who are going to take good advantage of that. So we see Logan Webb. I thought the odds are pretty curious on a lot of his props today, too. He's been creeping up all day. I see a minus 130 up to like a minus 140 now for over 2.5 earned runs, which isn't like that curious of a price for any pitcher going into cores. But when you look at Chase Anderson, who, yes, he's going to go a little shorter, his leash is going to be shorter, but he's minus 140 to the under. I mean, it doesn't make all that much sense to me. And so I'm leaning into that, as well as like the baseball side of things. And I do think the Rockies bats, that's a little trend I'm running to ride. You know, talked about a lot of these bad teams, which last time we did it, I guess it was against the A's or with the A's, and they almost got no hit. But the Rockies in cores, where they've been there, and, you know, you have the whole trend of a team coming into cores while they're still there. I know we had an off day because of the weather situation, but I'm perfectly fine to go with it. The only reason I would have gone probably with the money line like everybody else, or at least the plus 1.5, but with their doubleheader situation looming tonight, I really don't trust what they're going to do from a pitching perspective post Chase Anderson, or if Chase Anderson gets hit hard early, they're just going to leave him in. So that's why I stuck to the bats.
More than fair. And my follow-up question was going to be why not the money line, and you just answered it. What else we got?
One more. There's a lot of weird totals today that I guess are lower than expected, and I thought this one was one that I couldn't get behind. I know we've talked a lot about that Rangers Guardians one, what to expect from that game. That was weird, and I'm certainly not willing to take the square angle on that one. Here I am, and I'm happy to see that it's starting to tick back up, which I really like. Hunter Green, like, honestly, I think everything's fake sharp in this game, to be honest with you, and I'm hoping so. I'm obviously biased because it's the Reds, but I've seen a lot recently. The Reds get lower totals and lower line respect when they're facing lefties because of their numbers against them, really since the All-Star break up until like the beginning of September, when they kind of revamped their lineup against lefties. I mean, they brought in Bader, they brought in Renfroe. Bader hasn't been fantastic, but they did that. Moved Ellie down in the lineup. They got Noelvi Marte hitting up there now. So, like, it's a whole different look. Jonathan India is also back, who's been fantastic, and for whatever reason is Barry Bonds in Citi Field. So hoping that comes to fruition today. But I think they destroyed David Peterson, who's not a good pitcher to say the least, but he's also had, you know, he's been bad up until he got a lot of plus matchups recently, which the Twins were one of them. He faced the Angels. So I think that's all taken into account here with the line. So I think the Reds scored today, and Hunter Green, I think he pitches well. He's on the road where he's significantly better, but the Mets have been pesky lately, especially against righties, and especially when they're at home, especially against guys who throw a lot of fastballs. So I don't think you're going to get a perfect outing out of Hunter Green today. And then when you get to the bullpens, both these bullpens are bullpens that I have no problems fading. The Mets, they're just bad. They're not at any disadvantage really because of usage. They've actually been decently rested over the past week or so. But the Reds, man, they have been toasted, especially in a lot of these must-win series. I mean, they had TJ Antone go down, unfortunately, probably for a majority of the rest of the season. So they're a little short of arms, and they had pretty much every pitcher pitch twice in the last 3 series each. So we're struggling a little bit. They're a little shortage of arms. So we'll see who they bring out today, but it's not really anybody I'm scared of fading.
More than fair. More than fair. And then we got a little pee-pee.
Baby, yeah. Jose Altuve. I am taking him today against Zach Greinke. The Astros minus 1.5 was very close to making the card for the show, but I am going to play it. I was just waiting to see where the lines were settling for Christian Javier. But I think they destroy Zach Greinke today. So the question for me was Jose Altuve or Jordan, which I both think they're absolutely green, but went with Jose Altuve. I like his matchup a little better, and I just like Altuve a little better just because I take him and it works out. So I'm hoping it's one of those today. Royce Lewis is the one that I probably like a little more between a lot of these guys. That one has a little more baseball reasoning behind it. Schultens, I love fading guys who hit from the right-hand side of the plate, hit fastball as well, and have solid platoon splits themselves. With Schulten's, he has some of the craziest reverse splits I think I've ever seen. Righty, and Royce Lewis, not crazy, as crazy, I guess you could say, but he hits righties well and he hits fastballs well, and that's a majority of what you're going to see from Jesse Schulten. So I love targeting Royce Lewis when he's up for hit run RBI, and I think the fact that he's up for 1.5 total bases today instead. I believe he just went yard yesterday, but
he's so good.
He is so good. So, I mean, if he comes up with the bases loaded, this is green because he's the best bases loaded hitter that baseball has ever seen. So I do think they score runs. Yeah, I do think they score runs today off of Schulten's, but it's going to have to come from a lot of the righties. Like Royce Lewis, I think is going to have to be one of them. So that's my little two-piece for the night.
People forget Royce Lewis, number 1 overall pick.
People do forget. Starting to live up to it a little bit now.
Starting to live up to it. He's a dog. Bills.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this one, Javon. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not.
Talk to me.
I'm big on the bounce back spot, obviously, but I'm also big on the football side of things, which, yeah, you're right. I heard you say earlier that it was a pretty popular narrative, and I 100% agree. But I'm willing to buy into it because I think on the football side of things, there's not a way that the Raiders can stop the Bills. And again, it's not the hottest take, but I'm saying they match up so well. And the thing that I like that I saw out of the Bills against the Jets, a really good front seven. We talk about this like every single season, how the Bills' run game is going to be better. They've made some additions. It's going to be significantly more efficient. That was the first time that I think I saw proof or something that would make me or give me hope about the Bills' run game, especially because they're working to the outside a lot, where the weakness that I want to target a lot here for the Raiders is that linebacking core. That is horrendous. So I think you're going to be able to get James Cook on the outside quite a bit, especially against a very weak D-line, not just the front seven umbrella terms, I guess. But the D-line's weak. The linebackers are weak. So I think they destroy him in that aspect. I think Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are going to be a serious problem for those linebackers as well. And it's going to be chunk play after chunk play for this team from the start. I also I didn't see a line on BetMGM for this, but we were doing a little NFL segment where we have, meat on table play of the week. As far as like a book play, mine was Bills first quarter team total over 6.5. I think they script this thing to a gem from the beginning of this game, really throughout halftime. Not they're going to ease up a lot, but they're going to have a plan going into this, and I feel really good about how they match up. So I know it's pretty popular, but I'm willing to go to the grave with it this week.
Hey, when you're willing to go to a grave with a play, what the hell am I going to say? My one issue, I'm very worried about the Bills in general. I thought Josh Allen played scared in that game against the Jets. And scared is not the best term because he threw the ball as if he wasn't scared because he kept chucking the ball into Jordan Whitehead's hands.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of bad stuff from them starting in the last week of the preseason when they played their starters, didn't play well, and Sean McDermott was very, very worried about this team, or at least that's what he sounded like. Then I was like, all right, they're going to get right this week. That's why I didn't bet on the Jets, even though the spot screamed for it, right? Jets own them, home dog, prime, you know everything about that. And they didn't play well. And then again, it's like, I have the Bills to win the division. I hope they motherfuck the Raiders this week. I hope they light them on fire, win 40-0.
Yeah.
But nothing I've seen from the Bills gives me any confidence that they're covering this big of a number. And I'm a little bit worried that this line hasn't gotten steamed. Why was it at 9.5 and it's gone to 8.5 with this money and it's sticking? That's why I'm nervous. I'm not taking the Raiders. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just scared off the Bills through the full
That's fair.
game. And I actually like the first quarter bet more than the Bills. I think they kind of fall apart in the second half and they end up winning by 7. That's really what I think happens.
Yeah, that's fair. I 100% hear those. And I'm not going to act like I'm not a little concerned about what I saw Monday night from the Bills. But the thing that I like so much from this is like the coaching perspective of it all. Because like you're going to talk about them coming out to script plays. Not they're the only team that does that to start a game. But I think everything that they want to throw at the Raiders, they're going to be able to throw at the Raiders. And
like the Raiders ain't winning this game.
I don't think that's a question mark here. But I also love the fact that the Raiders, they're not going to generate turnovers or be in a position or put their defensive secondary in a position to generate turnovers. So like
they have one defensive player.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if you come out, like I'm hoping the psyche of it all, they come out, script plays early that kind of work against the looks that the Raiders defense are giving them. That's going to inspire a lot of confidence in Josh Allen. So once I see them kind of open up the short game or intermediate game with both of those tight ends, I think you're going to see the deep shots to Gabe Davis start flowing. So I would be excited to see that from Josh Allen. But yeah, I hear the concern.
A lot of people glued to Gabe Davis right now. I'm surprised though. It's your only NFL player bringing on stream. Is it just you're waiting to finalize? I know we're going to talk about your prize picks in a second. Are you waiting to finalize more plays? You don't like the board? What's up with that?
I'm waiting on a couple plays, man. I really like the Falcons. I know I heard you talk about the Falcons.
Oh, I'm on the money line already. I think you're going to miss the line.
Oh, I already locked it in. It's not that I'm waiting on that. I'm just waiting on being full go, selling it everywhere.
Full meat on tape. Full meat on tape.
Well, I mean, speaking of meat on tape, I mean on tape for Baker Mayfield throwing an interception this week.
Do you like the Bears with me? I'm on the Bears.
I kind of do, but it's I don't know. That's going to be such a weird game. That's going to be a game where I want to watch the first couple of drives unfold before I see how this Bucs defense is going to react to the Bears offense. But the one thing I can tell you, I don't like this matchup for Baker Mayfield. I can tell you why. The Vikings last week you looked solid. I'm not going to act like you looked great, especially in the second half. Yeah, especially in the second half. Second half, he looked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a Baker Mayfield guy. I'm a Bucs fan, but he looked kind of masterful in the second half. Especially it was impressive because the Bucs, they couldn't run the ball, which was crazy against the Vikings defense. Rashad White,
because he's the worst running back in the NFL.
He is. He's not very good. He's not.
Thank you. I was getting so much shit when I took his under. I'm like, what are you guys seeing that I haven't seen? He's terrible.
Yeah, he's not good. I think he's still technically on pace to go over though, which is
he had 39 yards week 1.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of all you need, right?
Yeah, I mean if he stays the 3 down back and he gets 20 carries a game, I'm screwed. I think he's going to lose his job.
No, he won't. He won't lose his job. Honestly, all the other running backs looked horrendous. Probably worse. Yeah. But yeah, so like that game, they obviously couldn't run the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball much against really anybody. But like the Vikings, the thing that they did that kind of played right into Baker's hands, outside of I guess him claiming that he figured out the signals, which I could see, there's definitely a shift in how he played and how he read the defense in the second half. Send a lot of pressure. That's kind of their MO, like we saw last night. And what does that do for Baker Mayfield? He doesn't have to make many decisions because he knows pre-snap exactly where he's going with the ball as soon as he steps back. And what do the Bears not do? They don't blitz. The last thing they're going to do is send any sort of pressure. So you know what that's going to do? Baker Mayfield's going to get back there, and he's going to have to read through his progressions. And what's going to happen? He's going to have to make a play with his arm. And not that I'm going to sit up here and act like the Bears secondary is any good, because let me tell you, it's terrible. But when Baker Mayfield has to make plays on his own,
they're still NFL players.
Yeah, they're still NFL players.
And it's like we're saying the Bears secondary is terrible. It's not like they have that tough of an issue with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of issues with the wide receiving core that I think was covered up, especially early in the game. But it was covered up in the second half. They were not on the same page quite a bit, but it looked better than it was because there was a lot of quick passes that were kind of masking it. But Godwin and Evans were not on the same page with Baker for a while. Trey Palmer was also not on the same page. The tight ends really struggled to get involved. So if we're talking about Baker Mayfield, I can tell you right now, there's going to be a point very early in this game where he makes a throw over the middle and somebody is just bottom line not open, and it's going to look like a Jameis throw. So I love to see that. There we go. Luis Arias.
No, it's so funny. I'm seeing the chat going crazy. It's like Elders and pissed. Let's get this Marlins over by themselves. I'm like, oh shit, the Marlins put up 4. I look at the score, it's 1-0. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I love runs. We wanted you got everyone to hit the over.
A leadoff Arias nuke is backbreaking now. It's a little different.
It's a little. I could agree with you more.
Yeah.
And then also Evan Ingram. I see that comment. A little Evan Ingram bump. I'm on Evan Ingram over 39.5 yards. Just put that one in your back pocket. The Chiefs are dog shit against tight ends. Most yards by far. He's going to go to Evan Ingram. Just put that in your back pocket.
I'm in. Put it back in. I took Kincaid as my tight end for the week in that the other 2-piece entry.
I think Kincaid's the best tight end in the NFL. I fell in love with him. Javon, over 2.5 receptions. He got it so easily, and I was like, this guy's a wide receiver. This ain't a tight end.
It's crazy. We're saying best tight end in the NFL. We got Sam Laporta still. You know, he's not retired. Like we just forget.
We did not forget. Unreal. You're a Laporta guy. I'm a Kincaid guy. We're both falling in love.
I'm a Kincaid guy this week though. Like I talked about the backers, man. Like none of them are athletic enough. None of them are disciplined enough to keep up with really either Dawson Knox or Kincaid. But Kincaid, I think, he had a lot of, I'd say the depth of his routes were not a concern, but they were a little more shallow than I expected on a consistent basis. But I think they're going to be able to stretch the field a little more. So that's why I went with yardage. I don't think we have a reception square, but even if we did, I would still prefer the yardage over this week. I think he's going to stretch the field a little bit more. So
they know better to put that. They know better than to put those receptions up there again. They know better.
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot of passes near the line of scrimmage, which I don't know why
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, great for reception.
I know he had like 3 catches for 9 yards in the first 10 minutes. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, what are we doing? Quick screens, Dalton Kincaid.
That's all. Man. That's all I wanted, and that's kind of my point. I was like, they're just going to get the ball in his hands early, and they're going to let him do what he can with it.
Yeah,
against the Jets.
I can tell you, like this week, after they saw what the 2 no-name Broncos tight ends were able to do to that Raiders defense, I think they combined for like
it was you and I playing tight end.
Yeah, it was like 7 for almost 90. I'm pretty sure with I forget who it was, like Troutman and Dulcich and one other one or something like. They're going to destroy him. They're going to stretch the field. Kincaid's going to be on a couple more deep routes than I guess people would expect this week.
Sneaky defensive prop for everybody listening and for you, Javon. I was on Prize Picks this morning, and I was looking at all my entries. I put out 2. There was one prop that I wanted to put in over CJ Stroud because I was a little bit nervous. I saw the shoulder thing, and I was like, if he plays – he's going to get over this. If he doesn't, he's going to DNP. But I put him in after Dexter Lawrence over 4 tackles and assists.
Ooh.
That Giants team just gets embarrassed by the Cowboys, and now they go up against the single worst offensive line. He is going to be a man with a mission. James Conner, all they're going to do is run the ball up the middle with James Conner. He might get 8. They took it off as I was locking it in. Now all he has up is a half tackle and assist. I am patiently waiting for them to put it back up. I bet those sons of bitches put it at like 4.5, 5. Don't care. He is going to have a game. So just put that in your back pocket.
I love it. I mean, while we're speaking of a little defense real quickly, you know what I just saw them put up? And I know we're both on the same side here.
What?
Jordan Love's up for an interception.
Oh, is he?
Wouldn't that be a shame?
The thing is, I hate betting on interception props. I just love that it's up there because it's like
I love that it's up.
I can't cap it.
I'll tell you what. You can kind of cap it.
I know. No, you can, but I'm saying I can't cap it well. That's just not in my forte.
I'll tell you what. The ones you should bet on. I talked about Baker. Baker's throwing a pick. Josh Allen ain't throwing a pick. That's your little 2-piece.
Josh Allen is not throwing a pick.
Yeah, that's your little 2-piece.
Josh Allen might throw a pick. Baker's throwing a pick. I hope not.
Baker will throw a pick in the first quarter. He will throw it.
Why don't you just ride my card? You and I are so aligned.
I know, pretty much. But yeah.
Bengals, Bears, Hawks, the under in Sunday Night Football, Dolphins, Pats. You don't like the Seahawks, do you?
I don't love them, but I'm not taking the Lions. I definitely do not like the under in Sunday Night Football. I like that over.
So will a lot of people as they're chasing. Ooh,
I agree. I agree.
What are you looking up over there?
Oh, he's got the interception squares up.
Oh. Tua and Mac up there. That's interesting.
I'm telling you, I think the Patriots are going to score on Sunday night. So like, it's not even me like riding the wave of the Dolphins offense necessarily. Like, I genuinely think they're going to be unlocked against the Dolphins defense. As long as Kendrick Bourne stays out of the doghouse, man, I think it's going to look good.
All I'm saying is we got a divisional game in prime time.
I know.
With the Tua offense, after everybody lost their wallet and they saw Tua put up 34, come on. We're better than this.
I know.
We're better than this. I don't think you're going to bet on the over, though. That's my.
I'm likely going to bet on the over.
Okay, we'll go head to head. Colby's on the over too.
Yeah, I might have to do it. But yeah, it's not me. It's not me riding their wave. It's more so just me tapping it. Tapping it. Mac Jones. Marlins bang. W. More bangs.
2-0. They're eating up Bryce Elder right now. Brian De LeBon's little single. Jazz Chisholm, hard hit contact. I bet strikes out swinging, but it's all Jake. It's the Jake Berger show.
It's always the Jake Berger show.
Isn't it just baseball's like just the worst and the best at the same time?
I mean, hey, I like to see it. To see it. I'm hoping the Braves come back and beat them by 10 because that's what I would really prefer here. But
all right, my friend, Great talking per usual. We'll talk to you soon. All right. We'll be texting.
Yep, for sure.
All right, my man.
Yep.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I am exhausted. 7 p.m. Eastern. We just did 2.5 hours of straight knowledge. Hopefully we helped you out. I'm going to go home. I'm going to have dinner. And then I will be glued to Mariners Dodgers. Glued. I'm not missing it out. Hope you don't either. Will I be betting on it? No. Believe it or not, I don't have to bet on everything, Javi. Believe it or not. Now I do have 5 NFL plays and I have 4 props. That's good for Sunday. All right, ladies and gents. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great rest of your day. But we have to remember, none of this was gambling advice. Peace out, everybody.